So it's I sent it out to. Hold on, I'll show it to you. It's Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear.
Okay, I know what Top Gear is, but
So hold on. All right, I'm gonna share it. Somebody just texted me. What the hell, man?
Wasn't me.
It's Eric. Eric's gonna be a little late. Baby's still awake. Okay. All right, let me share this thing. So this always tickles me because I like Top Gear and I think it's a good show and I like it. I like Jeremy Clarkson. So it's like a kid is being bullied to school. Oh no. Anyway,
yeah.
I always
awful.
thought that there's
okay, moving on.
1,000. Yeah, exactly. There's 1,000 uses for that.
Oh yes.
He says, during the news segment of the show, co-host James May announced that the Dacia Sandero Super Mini automobile was delayed. Co-host Jeremy Harkson reacted to the delay with a shocked, "Oh no!" And then he dropped the subject to discuss a signpost campaign from the previous week. Anyway. that cracks me up. We had a good one shot on. So I wanted to ask you guys, how did it go at the lake house? Did you guys have fun? Did you guys play any D&D, or was it just like lounging about, smoking opium and going on boat rides?
Oh, we played D&D.
Oh, okay, cool.
And opium.
and that too.
Perfect.
No boats. No boats.
No boats. That's all right.
We played the elf campaign.
Did we?
And I was a friend of a dwarf.
Okay.
It was Ubik and Drendon, which one has a 28 intelligence, one has a 30.
Yeah, so they play chess a lot?
So it was that. And then when he and, the leader of the whole town or whatever showed up, we kind of were talking to each other about, okay, the fodder showed up. So then we having, Ubik having the higher intelligence, having a 30, was like, Dom was like, hey, he's like, no, that's actually Dwarven for a friend of dwarf. So we convinced him that, cannon fodder really.
Claude was friend of dwarf. And I was a fodder.
Okay. Throw sweetie. But yeah, so the whole time we're talking about our fodder that we had coming in, and yeah.
Yeah, the two brainiacs needed a front line to protect them while they went on something. So they convinced me that fodder was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a feature, not a bug.
Right.
It's short for friend of dwarf.
Friend of dwarf, FOD. Nice. It stands for friend of dwarf. Hey, Chuck.
Howdy.
What's happening?
Not a whole lot.
What the hell was I doing here?
Go down. Down. Good girl.
My gosh, this is the first time I've been away from my dog for 3 days straight. I got the most excited, 3-minute long,
I know. That's what I got from Dale.
Oh my God, you're alive!
Yes.
If it goes 7 days, though, it's like I've moved on.
You're dead to me.
Oh. So I used to go away and come back and fly. The border collie dog was like that.
I remember Fly.
She was so excited to see me and everything. There was a 2-week period where I was gone for 2 weeks straight. Okay. And I came home and went upstairs, showered and everything. And usually when I was upstairs, I would walk from our bedroom to the computer room, which is, you can see downstairs into the foyer. Fly would always be at the bottom of the stairs waiting for me whenever I was upstairs.
Okay.
So I walk by and I look down and she's not there. I'm like, Sheila, is Fly outside? She's like, no, she's right in here. I'm like, well, she's supposed to be waiting at the stairs for me.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, you're dead to her, because I was gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, she's just had it with your crap.
She was mad at me.
So I haven't had a dog for a long time, well, frankly, we haven't had anything. But when we had a cat, Buddy, who was as you guys probably, I don't know if you guys remember Buddy, but he was pretty
When the first time I
doggy.
come over your house, he was still there.
Yeah, he was pretty doggy as cats go, and we still call the basement, the unfinished part of the basement, Buddy's house, because that's where he used to like to hang out. Anyway, he bit Madeline Isom because she was trying to grab him and carry him around. So I grabbed him and I spanked him and I put him in the basement. And damned if that cats are vengeful.
Oh, yes.
They went home and Madeline went home. We got everything calmed down. And then I let him out of the basement. And that cat came out and went straight to my bedroom and sat on my pillow until he knew I was looking at him. And then he pissed on my pillow on my bed. I couldn't believe it. He waited until he knew I could see it. So in case, so that the owner of the piss would not be in any sort of, nobody couldn't be like, well, it's not,
well, maybe
we don't know whose piss it is.
No.
Yeah, maybe it was one of the kids.
It's just like, yeah, the kids are pissing on my pillow.
Yeah, the cats we've always had
That little fart.
established alpha early on, and yeah, they only get beat if they do that. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I was so mad. And then he went under. So at the time I had a pedestal bed, and he went under the pedestal and in the back where he knew I couldn't get him.
Right.
Because I was ready to rip his tawny little head off for that.
Yeah.
But oh man, that little fart. Generally speaking, he was a pretty good cat, but he did not like to be punished. Hey, Dan.
Hello, guys.
And since we're still waiting on people, when I got my dog, I worked from home, and I got her as a puppy. She could fit in my hand. We had never been apart for more than a day in like 6 years.
Okay.
And then I decided to go on vacation with Kelly to Hawaii for 2 weeks, and I boarded her at a local veterinarian clinic.
Okay.
Right? So I came back. They let her out of the kennel. She walks over to me and looks at me like, "Oh, it's you." So I'm trying to pet her and warm her back up, and she's like, "Whatever." Obviously, she's angry at me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I go load her up. I get out of the parking lot, start heading home, and she just right there pisses in my back seat. She's never done. She didn't pee in the house once for her entire puppyhood. It wasn't until she got older and got a bladder infection and couldn't help it. But yeah, she's looking at me in the rearview mirror and pissing on my back seat.
They want you to know. They want you to know it's them.
Yeah, basically she was saying, you left me there for 2 weeks, although she doesn't have the same sense of time. It could have been half her life
Forever.
for all she knew.
Yeah.
And she was not happy with me. So it took copious amounts of treats and all sorts of other apologies and beggings of forgiveness and that I would never leave for that long again and that sort of thing before she would even look at me.
And you haven't.
I saw.
Oh no, because I could only afford to go to Hawaii once in my lifetime.
Right.
Jesus, have you seen how expensive that is?
Yeah.
I remember Marla and I went to Hawaii years and years ago, and I remember buying a 6-pack in the local takeout store. And at that time, you could buy a 6-pack of Budweiser for like $3, right, in the store.
Well, in St. Louis.
Yeah, in St. Louis. I went to go buy a 6-pack, and it was like $9. And I was like, why is it so expensive? And the liquor store guy's like, you see any breweries on this island?
I said, in St. Louis, don't they pretty much hand out Budweiser? I mean, you drive by that
pretty
big,
much
that
free,
big
yeah.
building, they just give it to you.
Yeah, beer is free here, but you got to pay for water.
Yeah. I remember going to the farm to go see the Clydesdales. And beer was free, and you could only have so many. But they had 57 places you could go to get beer, and those people aren't remembering anybody. So if you do a circuit, you could drink yourself into a stupor for free.
Oh, yeah.
Well, except that if you started to act drunk, they would question it.
Yeah, you would get, be like.
Yeah, except you're in St. Louis.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's a sliding scale about it.
I assure you that I draw less attention than literally anybody in South St. Louis.
Yes.
Period. I could be pass out drunk and still be more incognito.
Yep.
Because my shirt has sleeves. I have teeth in my mouth.
We do like our meth here.
So I actually told Mike this story this weekend and everything. You were talking about Hawaii. Mindy's family was planning a trip to Hawaii. She's got two sisters, Linda and Cindy, and they were 16 and 14 at the time. And they had been planning the trip for a while, and the girls were really excited about going. And about 3 months before they left, her parents sat them down and said, "Well, we're not going to go to Hawaii. You're going to have a sister instead." So that's what her daughter or her sisters think of Mindy for the rest of their life. Is
That's no trade.
Go to Hawaii.
Oh, Mindy was the sister.
Mindy was the sister.
Yeah, she's never living that down. I'm surprised she gets invited to Thanksgiving. What's new, Dano?
Nothing. What's new with you?
Missed a blowout last night.
How did it go?
It went fine. They cleared out the top level. Found sorry, I didn't realize Matt was there. Hold on. They cleared out the top level of the Shehugan Fortress, but found that there is a second underwater level. And don't let them shit you. They found a ton of magic items, so don't let them screw you.
Hey guys.
All right, cool.
Hey, there's Matt.
Yeah, I love this new Zoom setting where everything is locked down security-wise. You got to let every
Yeah.
Yep.
One guy waggles his dick at a bunch of third graders, and now we have to go through all this rigmarole. I hate Zoom. But yeah, so it was a good time. So Dan, you never did answer the question though. So about 15 minutes into last night's game, they were like, "Wait," I saw like Dan's not going to be here. He texted me. He's at a friend of his house. He's not going to be able to make it. And they were like, "Well, email him back and find out what he's drinking." And I sent you an email.
I saw it, but I wasn't drinking anything, so I felt very disappointed to let everybody down.
Oh man, everybody was like, like a couple of times people are like, "Has he emailed you back yet? Do we know what's going on?"
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah, it's an hour drive to this guy's house. I wasn't going to drink too much.
How was the one shot on Friday?
The one shot?
It was okay. I feel like we had a good time. My wife said I was really loud, but we got through like five.
All two rooms of it.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we didn't get all the way through it.
How many players did you have?
9.
Oh Jesus!
That's Don's laughing. That's in large part why we only got through like 4 rooms. But I forget, and Chuck, I forget how we ended up. It's like that because I had a couple of drinks at that time. Did we say that we were going to hold on to it, and the next time we had a one shot, we were going to flow back into this? Or
well, you guys, the group of people that you had on there, I didn't know anybody, which is not a problem, not a bad thing at all.
Okay.
But you were saying that you had normal games on. You had a normal game scheduled on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You asked about during the week. Those guys didn't seem all that into during the week.
Okay.
But they said if we can figure out a way to patch it all together, we'll do it. And I even during the week, 2 days out of the week, I have league. So
all right, yeah.
Monday and Wednesday would be it. And you're taking one of your kids to swim something. So
yeah.
Like I told you, I'm probably not going to be able to come back for that unless like the planets align.
Gotcha.
And right now we're waiting on the zombie apocalypse or whatever's for October of 2020. So
yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Cthulhu is approaching our shores as we speak.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Frankly, it would be a mercy at this point for Cthulhu to show up.
Yeah. Just let it happen, people.
It'd be an improvement. Yeah.
Just lie back. Yeah, it's going to be fine.
I think at this point we'd all pretty much volunteer for Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but
yeah, exactly.
There might be a few outliers. Hey, look, it's a plant. Come, just make this go away.
Yeah. Embrace me. All right, so we didn't come to. It sounds like we didn't come to anything definitive, and me, really. Frankly, me pulling a weekday rabbit out of my hat is going to be
right.
Impossible.
Don't you have what they call a job and a family and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I do.
You already play 3 nights a week.
I was going to say, you're 3 nights a week. That's pretty tough.
I know it is.
Yeah, it's very tolerant.
I gotta tell you, this whole job thing is really getting in the way of me being able to prep sufficiently too.
My wife was like, "You guys are playing again?" Yeah, every.
And I'm pretty sure 5 days a week equals papers from a law office. So I don't know that I would want to push it that far if I were you.
And I'm a little bit long in the tooth. I don't know that I could go back to being a single man. That would be problematic for me.
It would be a big problem.
Once you go poly gaming, go poly. Just keep the furries out. That's all I'm asking. Just don't
That
go
would be
full.
that could be
Go-
troublesome. I've been married for too long. I don't know that I could deal with being single again. I haven't been on a date in almost 35 years. I don't know what the hell to do.
Why is everybody so prejudiced against furries?
Is there something you want to tell us, Jeff?
That's why I
Well,
don't have the camera on.
I have a.
You're ashamed of it.
When I was about 26 or so,
I may have to tweet that.
I worked in the wedding industry, and I came across furries more often than you would think in furry weddings, both as a wedding DJ and as a tuxedo manager, where I had to like deliver goods to the wedding, and both the husband and wife had matching Care Bear furries, and we were not I was not aware of that situation at all until I just showed up at the Marriott with their cummerbunds. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, the standard response to that, and please excuse the language, is yiffin' hell for a fag.
Oh.
I once wrote a anthropology paper on the tribes of America. It's like, we're a very tribal people still, but now we have like specialty tribes, and the only requirement is obscene amounts of disposable cash. And furries, tailgaters, goths, Highland gamers, LARPers.
Alex is a LARPer. He keeps trying to get me to do it. He says he tells me. So Don's nephew Alex, who some of you know and some of you don't, is a LARPer, and he's a good dude. But he keeps trying to get me into it because he always is like you would be great at this. I think you would be awesome at this. And I'm like, I'm bad at everything. Why would I be awesome at this?
You tell your wife you need some working out on the weekends. I'm gonna go get swole in the woods.
I think he just wants somebody to come with him because I have a feeling he's going out there by himself.
Now, I'm pretty sure those people say that they're militia just because that's less embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's
Historical recreations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you guys know Tom Bowman. So he's less of a LARPer. He's a military reenactor.
World War II, yeah.
Yeah, he specializes in World War II, and he often plays the Germans. So he has a lot of Nazi shit in his house. So I'm here to tell you that he is the last person that would ever be a Nazi. But he has a ton of like authentic Nazi shit in his house, which can be off-putting to certain groups of people who don't know him very well.
Yeah, I hope the real estate agent is walking a family through anytime soon.
No shit. And he also has a bunch of like medieval weapons on his walls behind his thing with some real stuff.
Let me tell you about a D&D night that went awry. We had a game at my house when my wife and I had a house in the world's largest planned community called Highlands Ranch, or the United States' largest planned community. We've been playing this game, since we were teenagers. So these guys all have wives and whatnot now, but they all show up at my house. And my neighbor across the street keeps like, "Hey, what are you guys doing over there? What are you guys doing?" And this is right when the World Series of Poker is just gangbusters big. Like, "Oh yeah, we're playing poker," because I don't want to tell them
There you go.
we're still playing stuff. Like I'm less. And he goes, "Oh, great!"
Because poker it's a much easier sell.
Right. So he goes, "Oh, great! I've been watching it. I really need to get in. Come on, let me in." And he's like, on me. Like, guys, we're gonna have to learn how to play poker this week.
To fake out my neighbor.
Yeah. We're like, okay. We're like once in a while I have to like leave the room to like, okay, big blind, small blind. Okay, I got it. Okay. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I always thought it would be fun to play. I always wanted to play poker in a casino, one of the casino tables. But I'm terrible. I'm not a very good gambler. I'm terrible at cards.
Well, here's what you do: so. You pile the money on the table. You put some lighter fluid on it. Just
okay.
And repeat that every 30 minutes or so.
Instead, I'd rather buy a giant bag of dice from Wish.com, which I like to do. All right. So that being said,
are we
let's
missing?
Let's talk about this game.
Les,
yeah.
Real quick, open up the email I just sent you.
Oh, no. If this is going to be another picture of your butt, I'm going to be very disappointed.
He went front
Don
side
in
this
his
time.
furry costume.
I don't have a picture of
Gordon and Jen not joining us.
No.
My guess is Don's
Gordon?
costume is the Cowardly Lion.
Oh yeah, from Broken Shows. I've seen this. So just so everybody can get a look at this thing that Don sent me. Have you guys ever seen this? The Geek Hierarchy. The chart. All right. Hold
I
on.
want to see it.
I sent it to everyone in the email chain.
Oh,
but
okay,
go ahead
good.
and
So
share
I
it
was
real
I was
quick.
gonna share it, but yeah. So
Okay,
furries are like at the very bottom,
No, that's what made me think of it.
and then it says below furries are erotic furries, and then below that, the bottom of the barrel is people who write erotic versions of Star Trek where all the characters are furries, like Kirk is an ocelot or something, and then they put a furry version of themselves in as the star of the story. I'm like, that's the lowest you can go.
Don, did you send it to me? I don't see anything yet.
It should have gone to the chain, the email
Mine's
chain.
in my email.
It's an attachment at the bottom.
Okay, I'll find it. Are Magic
Pretty
the
good.
Gathering players at the bottom under the furries, or are they above them?
I'm sure they're on here. Hold on a second.
Magic the Gathering may not be on here because this is pretty old.
Oh, this is published.
Anime,
Oh, yeah,
video
science
games.
fiction writers.
Looks like we need to refresh this here.
Yeah, people who buy expensive replicas of fictional fantasy swords.
So-
That's nice.
So the guy who first showed this to me
Says the guy with a sword
was
over his
asking
head.
what SCA was. Okay, on the far left, you've got
Yep,
Red Fair
SCA
folk, and
folk.
SCA folk, and I was explaining it's Society of Creative Anachronism. He writes in people who know the difference between Ren Fair and SCA.
I don't even know what that is.
SCA. So SCA used to be a thing. It was sort of proto LARPing. It was like
Like
well, not
steampunkers?
proto, like yeah.
It's Society for
No.
Creative Anachronism. It's people who recreate medieval times and act like it's real.
Yeah.
How's
So
that different from a Ren Fair? They know it's not real?
you can't
They
buy
know
any of
it's
those
not
turkey
real.
legs at the SCA meetings.
It's very close.
Rat on a
Actually,
stick?
SCA turned into LARPing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so yes, so SEA aside, and now that we can certainly feel superior to furries, talk about this game. So Gordon and Jennifer are not going to be here tonight, so I think that if possible, you guys should get into a really big, important fight. Just saying, because I think that certainly weighs
There are
things,
two of them.
Who needs
balances
TPK,
things.
yeah.
So last time was day 2 in Alushinyrra for you. So things are starting to happen. You guys went down to the flesh markets, checked it out. What a absolutely horror show that was from the point of view of like people who are anti-slavery.
Well, in our defense, none of us bought anything, so.
It's true. Nobody bought anything. I thought, well, that one looks okay. Set out some people sort of feelers out into the city to try and figure out some of the things that you guys want to grab onto, and you basically set up a couple of meetings. So Mike, Ilindar, and Draugato have a meeting with the members of House Grunier, some other Menzoberranzan types, some other drows that happen to be staying at the hotel. And we'll hear in a few moments how that went. And then Felipe, one of the gnome-like guys who works at the hotel, is going to come back with information for Lothar. You guys ran into him down at the flesh markets as he was investigating on your behalf. And he has some information. He's like, I'll come see you tomorrow, which he will do. And then I think there's some other, you also got Yardley is out there looking for Minago. You haven't heard
Yeah,
from him
we're trying to
in a couple
avoid
of
him.
days. He's out there. It's been a couple of days, but you're not sure what's doing for them. And then you're still trying to sort of build that notoriety. You got into a street fight last time and talked about how it was like, save that Melkor, the potioner, and you're going to go down there to his potion place and maybe buy some things. I know Gordon had talked about wanting to go to a magic shop. I don't know if the rest of you were all that interested, that kind of thing. And then Gordon got Bardos got a letter from Xanther Vang saying, it's great that you guys are in Alushinyrra. I still think you make a great apprentice. Here's one of my worms. Just tell the worm when you want to meet, and we'll do that. You guys got some calling cards from people.
Depository worm. That's how you tell it.
Yeah, and we've continued to expand the living document of what our paladin's allowed to do. And I think with every meeting, we have one or two more things that we can put in there to sort of help clarify things for Flash Art and just be a sort of a little guidebook for them.
So Matt, whenever you do become a fighter, I've got some feats that'll help you out quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Gordon turned me on to that series. What is it? The sword. I forgot the sword above, whatever. With Glockter, right? the great noble, like the handsome noble, who had been tortured for years in the Emperor's dungeons, is the chief inquisitor for his own kingdom, and just he's like a main protagonist, and he's a terrible, terrible person, but you can see it from his point of view that he's just trying to hold the kingdom together, but he's lopping people's fingers off and pulling their teeth out and whatnot. Like. Yeah.
If there's one thing I think characterizes paladins throughout all of our games, it's moral equivalence.
Yeah, and I'm just saying there's got to be a what do they call it? The not the luxury class, the prestige class, right? Of Inquisitor or something.
Well, Inquisitor is a class in its own
It's its own
self.
class.
Yeah, so it is actually a pretty good class.
It does not grow out from Paladin.
Yeah, usually mutually exclusive kind of backgrounds there, but not out of the realm of possibility. This is an open thing. We'll entertain.
I have to maybe I'll add to. Remember we wrote that history of, or I wrote the history for Flashheart, so maybe I can add that to your book of how Flashheart got the way he is.
We could do that as a sort of a prologue, an explainer.
Yeah,
got it.
And I think we can probably meta the Paladin book.
I could do like
and
stick
basically
figures.
Say if Matt thinks of it, the Paladin's not allowed to do it.
Pretty much, yeah.
All suggestions.
I could do some stick figures to illustrate it and say by mercy or whatever, by my sidekick.
It's one of those flow charts. If Matt thinks of it, then direct it over to the no.
Then we can put another square that says "but" with 3 dots, and then underneath that, "Oh my God, no!" We did that with Q. I had an old thing that we did. I was in a meeting. It was like, should we? The thing was that it was like flowchart style. They said, should we use QR codes? And the arrow went to a box that said no, and then another arrow went down and said but, with an ellipsis, and then it's underneath it was another box that said, oh my God, no, with an exclamation point. So it was like, okay, I guess we're not using QR codes for this. But I thought if there's anything that demons are going to use with regularity, it's QR codes. So that's why.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of where we say you're sort of in this weird. I mean, it's like we talked about before. This is very sandboxy. There's a lot of decisions that you guys, information coming in, stuff that you guys want to do. You've started to build a little bit of notoriety, and I keep a secret tally of your notoriety and modifiers thereon that you might be able to do. There's also, you've got Alushinyrra back in Dresden, who could be helpful from an informational standpoint. Probably at some point we're going to have to do another 10 minutes of questions with Erastil, as a divination. So we could probably do that. I've also got some other ideas that I'm going to propose probably in emails. But at that point, right now, you're at the hotel. You're waiting. A lot of you are back in the room. You've just enjoyed an early supper. Lothar, you are waiting for Felipe to come back with information on that you sent him out to. When Draugato and Ilindar sort of come back into the room and sit down.
So they've had.
And we don't say a word.
They're covered in blood, and Draugato's missing an ear.
No. Eldar come back and say, hey, that actually went as well as can be expected. He'll pat Gato on the back and say he did a great job of behaving like a drow.
No murders and only one spanking.
Right. But we met with these guys, and what I set up is, since I know we're going to be going to Menzoberranzan later on, these guys were falling all over themselves, hoping to make a deal with the family that I said I'm from. So I played into that, and I've got some contacts from when we have to actually go to the city to hopefully get us in. So, and I effectively told them they can't bother us while we're here. So,
because it was a clandestine meeting.
Mm-hmm. And they were basically trying to curry favor, and that's it.
Oh yeah. But that was pretty obvious, and so, like I said, I just played into that and ran with it.
Well, so Mike's cover story is being a representative from the most powerful house in Menzoberranzan.
Right.
So I guess
House
in my defense,
House Benray, yeah.
He said the first name that popped in his head, and it was that big house. He didn't anticipate that, someone from Menzoberranzan would jump onto
So
that.
every infraction in Menzoberranzan is always death, right? Every penalty is death.
Most
Right?
of them.
There's no traffic infractions or anything like that. So
Either
when we
death
get
or slavery, I would think. I mean,
Yeah.
the Drow are famous slavers. And so one of the things that I think, came out of this meeting is also the idea that Mike and Don kind of got onto the idea that, you don't see a ton of Drow in Alushinyrra, but these guys that you've met and talked with are now, they're representatives of House Drugar. And Drugir, House Drugar, whatever the hell, they're a very wealthy house, probably second in wealth only to House Banray. And they make a ton of their money from money lending. They are probably frankly, they're the bankers of Menzoberranzan. But I think what Ilindar and Draugado discovered was that they also are doing a fair amount of business. I mean, doing slave trade in Alushinyrra with Menzoberranzan is something that a lot of Menzoberranzans would have never thought of to do. So now they've got like this sort of, I don't want to say monopoly, but they've got certainly a very lucrative opportunity here where they can, where the house has a side hustle where they're offloading slaves from the prime material plane into the abyss at Alushinyrra, and they're probably making bank, and no one else in Menzoberranzan knows about it.
Yeah. So did good to keep my bluff up, and
He managed to keep the bluff up. They did not solve it. Basically, they wanted to, basically they were coming to Ilindar from a position of either currying favor in general, but also they were suspicious that House Banray is getting into the slaving business in Alushinyrra. So what they proposed was an alliance, essentially. Like either we can go into business together and share in the profits, because they know that hyper competitive activity against House Banray is going to be difficult.
Bad news, right?
Yeah, it could be seriously bad for their health. And or sort of a drow gentleman's agreement to sort of leave each other alone and not try to negatively impact each other's business. And Ilindar, you could tell them, how you sort of navigated those waters if you want, or you can keep it to yourself. I'm not going to.
Well, basically,
what you want to do?
I kind of, as a show of favor, told them at this time we're not. I'm not here, this trip to encroach on that. Which there was some visible
relief.
There was some visible relief whenever I said that. And like I said, this was pretty much just a sham to use the most powerful family to get them to do us favors when we do have to go to Menzoberranzan. It's kind of, but like I said, it seems to have worked hook, line, and sinker. I mean, it's.
All right. Well, we will step into that baited trap later. Back to the adventure as it is. But good way to set up the groundwork for our future endeavors, because if we survive this, and that's the next trip we have to make, right? While we're down here.
Right. I think another thing we successfully did was we had a very public, private meeting. So people saw Mike's character doing business in this town with another Drow family that is doing slave business in this town. So anyone who took note of that may want to try to, pass that information on, and it just might help our reputation.
Right.
At least get us more notice, which is what we're trying to do.
Unless the family that you're alleging to represent gets wind of it, right? And then they'll be like, "What?"
That'd be bad.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
They probably would take that as a personal affront.
Right. Now, one of the things I did to kind of combat that is purposely did not give them any details of what I was doing here.
You signed
And basically told them up front, this isn't something I'm going to share with you. Just accept that. So they know I'm on a more covert. Whatever I'm doing here is more covert.
Right.
And by the way, I'm not telling you, so don't ask.
Yeah, and they for their part, they were like, "Oh, we totally get it. We would never inquire."
Yeah.
So
Goddard did a very good job of not saying much at all.
your entire strategy was it's for me to know and you to find out. Is that what you said?
Pretty much, yeah. I knew as long as I keep the bluff up that I had the upper hand because they were trying to meet, this family. So I just kind of played to that. And
Yeah, and to the end of it, I mean, they seemed pretty pleased with how things came out. So, I mean, Draugato was there, stayed a little bit, and checked him out, and was rolling some just absolutely unbelievable perception checks. And
except for in the middle of the conversation when I would have needed help.
Yeah,
he was rolling ones then.
Then he dropped his.
They could have jumped up and ambushed me and stabbed me to death, and he wouldn't have known. He was only a table away, and he wouldn't have known.
As we talked about, that happens a lot in hotel bars, where I've been in hotels where there's just like a stabbing that just goes down right over at the table next door. You just never know what's going to happen. So, but yeah, no, it went pretty well. They seem to take it pretty well. From Draugato's point of view, that they're optimistic that this is going to lead to a relationship with House Bainra, which is always profitable, and
they're looking forward to it. Yep.
Yeah, they're excited. Anything else you want to add to that, Mike or Don?
Nope.
No.
All right.
Did they say how long they're supposed to be here?
No, but they travel back and forth frequently between Menzoberranzan and here. And sometime in the next 24 hours, I expect one of those calling cards to show up, so I can get a hold of them whenever I want.
Like tonight.
Yeah.
They'll probably have it. As excited as they were, we'll probably have it tonight. But
right. Well, that's the only thing that causes me any concern is as excited as they were, if they go back to Menzoberranzan and start telling their superiors that they're negotiating alliances with House Bainra, depending on how well they keep that to their own house, which in a city of spies is usually not very well, that could become problematic.
Right. There's always a possibility of that.
Well, I'm gonna employ something I've learned during the year of 2020. I'm just gonna ignore that crisis and deal with the crisis at hand.
Just too many other things going on. Let's move on.
We're just going to prioritize crises, and that one's down the list for
that
now.
one's not high on the list right now.
Let's list our most important crises from 1 to 10. Let's do that. That way we know where to apply.
It's like
to ignore
6.
All right,
No,
so that's how that went. Obviously, supper is still there, and you can see Gatto and Ilindar will top in when there is a knock at the door, and it's Felipe. It's like, Felipe, sir, come for the big meeting.
Yeah, I'm going to go open the door.
Okay.
Hey,
So-
real quick, where is that stupid worm that Xanthar Vang? I just want to make sure it's not like a listening device that can we put it in a can or something where he can't hear us?
We're pretty sure.
Character put it in a jar and
It's
put it
definitely at least
in
portable.
the portable hole.
Okay.
Right.
I think we'd
He's
be
got
fine.
a handful of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're pretty sure this guy can somehow scry on Bardos anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
This guy's been listening to us, so anything he wants to hear, we don't have the spell ability to block it or the energy to do something like that and keep that happening. So
Except that
right.
Bardos isn't here right now.
I will go back to refer to 2020 rule. We'll just sweep it off the table
Yeah.
right now. We'll get back to it.
it's not in our face right now, so yeah, we'll deal with that one.
It's number 6 on crises to be
Yeah.
dealt with. But yeah, so I mean, to your point, Chuck, I think you have to assume that he can definitely scry on those worms, because at least from everything that Bardos has told you about Xanthar, his body is comprised of these worms. And your guess is that he's extracted one somehow and sent it along as sort of a weird calling card.
All right, but the worms are in a jar in a portable hole.
Yeah.
Right.
On a character who's not here.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So he's probably not listening
Move
to what
on.
you guys are doing now.
Right. So we're good. We've got the cone of silence for now.
Yeah, Bardos is really your sort of speaker that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so Felipe comes in and he's like, first of all, he gives you sort of like a mild chastisement. He's like, look, you shouldn't probably have gone down to the flesh markets. If people know that we're working together and that kind of stuff, that could be dangerous. Frankly, it wouldn't necessarily good. So if you want to go down there, just let me know, and I'll stay away. But we shouldn't meet there. Second, he pulls out, he's like, all right, so I do have some information. I went through and talked to some people. It took me most of the day yesterday and partially today, but I do have some information for you. Basically, he goes, I've found 5 instances in the records that make mention of Aristotelian priest, prime material plane, male in the past 5 months or 3 months. Transactions that have taken place. And he goes, so I found 5 instances where those particular sets of criteria were noted in the bills of sale. He says the first one that I found were two people sold together, drow sellers from Menzoberranzan to a person called Asperitas Nickelfang, which I did a few checks on that, and that is a representative of a rich manor uptown, somewhere in the blue zone. It was they were one of those was listed as an Aristotelian priest and a prime, although in this case the sex wasn't the gender wasn't listed. The next thing I found was 3 newly embodied souls, one of which is listed as human priest of Erastil, killed by misadventure. Which was sold by a creature called Quinarch Shadowfilled to a demon named Var. This is one of several packets that were listed as being sold by this Shadowfilled creature of ensorcelled souls. So essentially, what happens is you have ensorcelled spirits or ensorcelled souls, and what they do is rebody them. Usually, they can be animals or polymorphed lemurs or various kinds of bodies that they basically can create to hold these things. They can polymorph a creature into some sort of useful shape. Deliver the disembodied spirit into it, and then you have an embodied spirit essentially. Sometimes the sellers do this. Sometimes they sell the disembodied spirits in mass. That's what this looks like. Is that this Quinarch Shadowfilled sells newly disembodied spirits to rebodiers. This Var is, my guess is probably somebody who specializes in rebodying these spirits and then resells them as typically workers or what have you. Number 3 was very interesting. It said it was listed as Aristotelian priest, human male. It was sold to a company called the Red Lands Consortium. I don't know anything about them. I think they're involved in mining, but that's as far as that listing went. The next one that I found was a group of 13 randomized primes of various races and ages, all male, probably sold to a manual. They were sold to this was proposed to be a manually labor-focused agricultural, probably alchemical herbal lab. One human is listed as being named Jaxar, which might be a poorly done derivation of. You said the guy's name was Jesker.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of them is listed as Jaxar, so that might be a derivation of that, or it might be
completely different person.
It might be a totally different person, but it was 13 primes sold to a agricultural consortium, which is associated with alchemical herbal laboratories. So labor. And then the last one I found was listed as Ulfin Priest, traded for what was considered specie, something equivalent to about 100 gold pieces. This was an off-book trade. It wasn't done in regular thing. It was more of a barter regime. According to the records, he was moved to a holding pen owned by a bundler. And then probably resold. So theoretically, but there was no listing of the bundler having resold that. I checked that out. So he might this person might still be at the bundler. So bundlers are essentially people who buy loose slaves, put them together in cadres of 20 or 40 or something like that, and sell them in blocks to large-scale slave owners. Typically that's agricultural or mining concerns where they need lots and lots of people, or they go through slaves pretty quickly. No name is mentioned. These bundlers will oftentimes buy, like I said, onesies and twosies. They'll hold on to them for a while in a warehouse until they get 20 or 40 or what have you, and then they'll sell them as a block.
So this is like demonic Lehman Brothers doing subprime souls,
subprime
right?
lending,
Bundling,
yeah.
bundling them into securities, subprime souls.
They're
Gonna
short
lead to
sellers.
trouble.
Yeah.
So is the one that is listed as Jackson, that's listed as just a prime, right?
Just
It's
listed
not-
at a prime, and he was sold as within a group of 13 other primes with various races and ages listed. They were all male, and it was from the listing. It was said that these were going to be focused on agricultural manual labor.
But it wasn't listed as a rebody.
No, it was not listed as a rebody. Only one. There was only the one listing of embodied souls that I thought had anything that was of note, and it said human priest of Erastil, killed by misadventure. And it was sold by a guy named Quinarch Shadowfilled to a demon called Var, which I suspect, this guy Var, I don't know anything about him, but I suspect that he's a rebodier.
Sleeved him. Well, Chuck, this is your adventure here. I would say we should prioritize them on probably that Jaxar is probably done priority one, or you can prioritize by from location of where we are, because sounds like several of these are probably not in the city.
Well, and it sounds to me, and I could be mistaken, there are really only 2 of them that fit, or at least best fit, the scenarios that we're looking at.
Jaxar
Because-
and
Well,
the
no, the Jaxar one, no, because those were primes, but Jesker was a disembodied soul. He died on the prime material
Oh, I
plane
see. I got it.
and was
So
brought
you're
to this
the
plane
resleever.
by the shadow demon that had him.
The
Right.
name listed as the person who brought him here, or sold him anyway, was somebody called Quinarch Shadowfilled.
Yeah, which could very well be the demon thing that we faced in little Jesker's little cave thing, and what was the site of the burial grounds for the Aristilian hero.
I think
So
Quinarch
that one,
Shadows.
that one I think is promising.
And that's the one who was sold to VAR.
That's the one who was sold to Var. The other one that's promising is that they specified it was an Ulfin priest.
That's the last one.
That's the
Yeah.
last one.
Ulfin priest, and it was a barter relation, traded for specie. It looked to be like 100 gold piece equivalent or so, and it was moved to a holding pen owned by a bundler, but no listing of having that bundler having sold any blocks of slaves that would maybe have included this guy. So it's possible he's still with the bundler, waiting for that more for this guy to do it.
Right. For him to fill up his portfolio of subprime slaves to then sell off to the secondary market.
Right.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Yep.
Yeah. So Gatto says of all 5 of those 2 also, he just gets a feeling about. The last one, especially because once that bundler gets so many and sells them again, it's going to be hard to trace where they're going.
Right.
After more and more transactions, it's money laundering kind of.
Yeah. So
I would like to close that.
Take 30 dirty souls and get back
first.
15 clean souls.
And I agree. I would like to look into the bundler one first, because that could very well be Sivar. And then after that, then we've got the demon Var. And he's a bodier, I suppose, from what this guy's telling us. But he bought what, 3? What was it? 3, 5?
3. He bought 3. The listing says he bought 3 disembodied souls from this Quinarch guy as one of several packets of disembodied souls. So there were several other packets, but most of them didn't list anything. In this case, it listed as human priest of Erastil killed by misadventure.
Yeah. So I think we try the bundler first, see if we can get Sivar, and then the next one would be that Var.
Okay.
I think Quinarch Shadowfilled is the name of my State Farm representative.
Well, he looks ugly.
I will do whatever you want on this one. I would say that we should make a sacred vow right now that if any of us fall to the shadow, either enslaved or as a soul, we make a pact that the others come and get that said soul. That sounds like a bad way to go. Like, you're already dead. Now you got to go work for a bunch of demons.
Well, so the capture of these disembodied souls is kind of tricky. I mean, the lore for Galarian is when a prime dies, regardless of race, regardless of what they go to Pharasma. So Pharasma is the god of the dead, and she's the one who judges the newly dead souls and spirits and sends them to where they're supposed to go. the presence of disembodied spirits as a commodity sort of presupposes that there are methods to sort of steal souls and spirits away from Pharasma. That particular process is not ironclad. You would know, so from Lothar, I mean, you were there, you witnessed this happen, and you've had messages from Erastil and things like that that sort of say, look, in this case, the situation involving the death of Jesker Helton was such that it was possible to sort of pull him out of Pharasma's process, which frankly the Pharasmans don't like, but there does seem to be a market for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what Felipe tells you is like, okay, I can follow up on these two specifically. He's like, look, I ran out of expenses. I had to bribe somebody. So I ran about 30 gold pieces over. If you want me to continue to do it, I think I need another 50 to go on. So if you've got 80 gold pieces handy, that'd be good. And I can continue to search.
It'd be prime gold or has to be demon gold, right?
Doesn't matter.
That's right.
We'll give him 100.
Yeah.
Give him 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go crazy, Felipe.
I'm not going to 100 gold pieces out of the party booty, but yeah, we give him 100 and say, yeah, keep doing your good work.
Yeah.
Actually, let us know.
What are we giving him besides? I mean, he's doing. I forget what his. What are we paying him? You can't.
That's what the 100 gold's for.
Right. So that his 100 gold.
Yeah, some of it is stuff he's turning around and spending.
Spreader. Okay,
yeah. He's basically saying, look, my expenses in this regard for this kind of job is like 50 a day, and he's got some expenses which he's pulling out of it, but probably what he's doing is he's pocketing the rest.
Okay, that's fine. Demon City. You expect a little graft off the top.
Right. And so along with the information he's provided, do we have addresses or locations for the bundler and for Czar? Or Var?
Not yet. That's what he's gonna get for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what he's like, look, I can follow. He wanted to find out where you thought he could best deploy use his time on your behalf. So he's basically going to say, look, I'm going to look into these guys and find out what I can find out. I'll be back. Give me a day or two, and I'll come back with more information. Addresses will be at the top of the list.
Where's our flappy little friend? We sent him off on a mission too.
Yardley? Well, he's going to come back tonight too.
We're glad he's gone.
No. I want Les to portray Yardley. I feel this is the true Les coming out.
His thespian side.
Yeah.
My thespian side. My terrible voices. Sorry, I just dropped my thing. So any questions for Felipe before he heads out back into the streets of Alushinyrra? Okay. So yeah, Yardley does come back. It's a couple hours. You guys are sort of pondering some of the information that you got. And if you want, I can type it all up and send it out to everybody later this evening, so you guys can look at some of the other information they got. Maybe look at some of other options from that point of view. But yeah, a couple hours later, you hear a banging at that window, and it's like, open up! I've got some information for you.
We hide all the alcohol and food.
Yeah.
Where's the alcohol and food? What did you do? Yardley likes booze. That's that space vodka that you guys brought. So you guys, I'm assuming you guys let him in because he's like, "Let me in! Let me in!"
Yeah.
Once we've hidden everything, sure.
All right, so he flies in and kind of lands on a thing, and you could see that he's looking around for the vodka and the victuals, and massive disappointment. And frankly, you see him, and this is so he sort of over behind the divan. You're pretty sure he took a small dump. As he I mean, he unlike a cat, he wasn't waiting for everybody to look at him when he was doing it. But you heard a farty noise, and there's like a sulfury egg smell back there now, so you're not entirely sure what's going on. But yeah, so eventually he's like, I found some stuff. I found some stuff for you. You sent me to find Menego, and I found her. I think I found her. Well, no, I didn't really find her, but I think I found something.
Let's hear it. You want a little vodka? You want a little snacks? Give us the information first.
All right. Well, I didn't find Minigo. I don't know where she is. I don't know what she's doing, but that kind of thing. And I did find something else. Big cloud demon says he wants to talk to the primes that's looking for Minigo. Said to tell you this.
Hold on. I got to get the name right. Otherwise, if I fuck this up, you guys will never let me live it out. Yaniel. So he said to say this. Yaniel to you. That he says the name Yaniel. And so you guys remember that this was the Iomedean crusader that Minigo pretended to be to try and trick you guys at the refinery.
Right.
He said to tell you the name Yaniel and that this would tell you all you needed to know. Says he can't come here because the ban on what the Belisarius has got on the place no demons can come in. Nobody can get in, can pass the door. But this dark demon says that you got to meet him in the city. He says, you tell me and I'll tell you and then meet them the same day and figure it out so that we can have an ambush, right? That's what he wants. But he says he can give you what you want from Minigo.
Okay. Well, I think it's worth at least the risk, even though we know it's a trap.
Even if it is an ambush, don't care. Yeah.
All right, so we only know one place in the whole city, the alley where we just ganked.
The alley, we were just
And that saves less doing a new map anyway.
You know the alley where those guys were killed? Let's meet there.
Yeah.
No, I've got many alley maps. Well, so you guys have been here for 3 days. So you do know that you know about Melkor's potioners. You know about that there's magic shops, there's bars, there's restaurants, there's places all over the place.
I'm gonna summon Belisarius or one of his people to give us a location that might be not completely lethal to a meet cute with a demon.
Okay, so you're looking for a place that's going to be semi-public, probably have some security in place.
Saw how well that worked in Traveler.
Right.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Looking at the map where the Worm Pyre is.
Mm-hmm.
If you go, basically due east and maybe one click south, there looks to be some sort of opening town square type area. Right here.
Do it again. I fucked it up.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, there's so what they'll tell you is that is
You did it again? I didn't see it.
that's a big
Zoom.
that's a big marketplace, and so it's sort of like it's a non-slave festival. Basically, it's a big outdoor marketplace, sort of outdoor. There's pavilions and things like that, but that's where a lot of people.
But it's quasi public. Well, it is public, but they're doing marketing or business type stuff, so people might not necessarily be paying super attention to what you're doing. But if somebody decided to do something completely heinous, there would be a bunch of people there to notice. And we're not that far from the Worm Pyre.
Well, this is a demonic plane, so you know there's got to be a Starbucks.
No doubt.
Yeah, but they only use QR codes. You can only pay through an app. So what they'll tell you, the concierge will tell you, is that is indeed a very public place. It's generally there are people there 24/7, conducting normal business. A lot of that marketplace services the Saltpeter and Brockmarsh neighborhoods, where that blue ringed area that you guys can see. That's where a lot of like these large manor houses and stuff like that is. A lot of the wealthier residents of Alushinyrra live in that area. It's sort of like a little gated community. You can see that the orange line of the train stops at that location. There's no trains in the blue area. It's called the Terrace of Favored Mistresses. It's just a weird name that they have, but it's essentially the upscalest residential area inside of Alushinyrra. And this marketplace, a lot of the servants will come out of the terrace through saltpeter, pick up stuff for the things and take it back there. So it services a lot of that market.
Sounds like a good choice.
Let's say that seems like it might not be a bad idea.
Okay, so according to Yardley, he says the dark demon says you got to meet him in the city. It says you tell me when, he tell you where, or vice versa, and then we meet the next day. Says that way nobody can do an ambush.
Pick the where.
So you tell Yardley, we're like, here's the where. You tell us the when, Ask him when, and then we'll set it up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he's like, all right, I did my job. Where's the vodka? Come on, you don't want me shit behind the couch again.
We give him one, a nice full one.
Okay, good. So he takes that bottle. He's like, that's good stuff, good stuff. You know, and he's like, any food?
I'll grab, a handful off of one of the trays that I hid.
All right.
Here.
Tucks up under the thing and grabs the vodka. And he's like, all right, I'll tell him. I'll come back tomorrow. And flies out the window. Flop, 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 trying desperately to carry the food and everything back with him. Thanks, Primes. All right, so you got more information. So you said you want to set up at this thing. He's going to come back on Yardley will come back on day 4 from a message from this guy. The fact that he knows the name Yaniel is interesting. Now, if it's actually a shadow demon and not Minago herself trying to trick you, which frankly would be fairly obvious. But even Yardley said that he didn't find Minago. He found this guy. This guy, well, what you get out of him is that this guy found him. Yardley is not the most subtle of interrogators.
No.
So he probably was screaming to the top of his lungs, "Where's Minago? Where's Minago? I got some primes over at the Worm Empire."
Yeah, that's probably, I can see that.
And then maybe this other guy sort of came to him and said, "Tell your friends this." So I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what this is all about.
And you guys said that
he knows this. He knows what she likes to act like some of the time. So this is someone who doesn't just know of her, knows her.
Flashheart knows what the main mission is, but this is right at the top of his list. Putting a herd of Minago permanently.
The guy that we killed in the lab, because we were on the other side of the teleporter already, right? That demon is dead. He's not here.
Yeah, we killed him.
No.
Correct. You killed him in the abyss.
Got it.
So that's permadeath.
We killed him in the abyss?
Oh, we killed him
in
there.
that lab.
No, we were in that lab, which is on the prime material plane.
But he came through the.
But he wasn't summoned.
Oh, that's right. He
wasn't
summoned. He walked through.
Right. So he dead. So he could have a soul somewhere floating around here. I guess it could be re-sleeved, right?
Potentially, I guess. Most of the time, when demons die, and you see this more with devils than demons. But when devils are killed on the prime material plane, they return to the hells, where they are immediately reconstituted. It's a little different than having a disembodied soul. The rules are that they are stuck in their home plane for a century. They can't leave, which just makes them easy pickings for a lot of things. They're also usually not powerless per se, but they're also generally their powers are debilitated. Often as not, they get
Diminished a bit.
Yeah, diminished. They get plopped into the nearest lemur, and they have to sort of start from scratch from that thing. Now, devils obviously have various powers that they're going to build up, but yeah, it's not something they want to have happen. Especially galling to them is them having to stay on their own plane for a century. It's like being grounded for 100 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're in timeout.
Yeah, so it really pisses them off.
Go sit on the naughty step for 100 years.
Yeah.
And you got to figure the other devils who happen to be there are breaking fun of it. He's like, what happened to you? Did you get killed by some primes?
Yeah.
What a douche. I've got some kittens back at the house. Maybe you want to get killed again. But all right, so you've got some bits of information. You send Yardley out with the information that you want to meet at this marketplace. So we'll see what happens there. You've sent Felipe back out into the thing to try and find out more information about these 3 guys. The Drow meeting went okay. What's your next move? What do you want to do? So you're still kind of waiting for information, but you could go down to the potioners. You could do a couple of things.
Unless we need Gordon and Jennifer to be participatory in the reward, or you can back reward them later, I guess. I think we should go hit the potioners.
Okey doke.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to make sure that they get their.
You think there's going to be a reward? Oh, okay.
Just do. No, he made it clear there was going to be a reward.
Well, yeah, the potioner was the guy we saved his life. So we were talking about going there to buy stuff, but I mean,
well, first we'd have to give him back the money he left behind, right?
Well, no, I think he's pretty much given up on that.
I think we have to refer to the Paladin.
The Paladin code.
Flip. Keep a found wallet.
No.
It wasn't the Paladin that found it.
I think, and I
It
think
was
when it comes to
Gatto found it, so I think we're good.
I think when it comes to Paladin abilities, I think there's a lot of methods that you can sort of parse that, legally speaking. You know, if he doesn't touch it, doesn't take constructive receipt, it's really not his wallet.
Well,
I'm sure Iomade sees all that kind of stuff and weighs it.
The question is, does the
valid
Paladin
defense
know?
Yeah, the valid defense is the Sergeant Schultz offense. I see nothing. I hear nothing. I know nothing. That works every time with Iomade.
We take turns with him. Anytime we're going to do something like that, one of us walks over to Flashheart. Flashheart puts arm around him, covers his eyes, and turns him around and walks the other way with him.
Here's some schnapps.
With schnapps. Here's some schnapps.
Isn't that what they used to give Schultz?
They used to give him schnapps. Or
They say, here, have a bottle of schnapps. And then Schultz would always say something like, how did you get this? But, all right, so, I mean, you've got some options. So you're going to go down to the potioners. All right, so you make your way out.
Okay, go ahead.
Or do you want to wait until, so this is it's kind of late at night.
All I was saying is that I just want to make sure that Gordon and Jennifer will be able to participate in any reward we get, right? Because I think
that's up to you guys. You know, frankly, as a DM, I come from the snooze you lose school of reward.
In this particular case, I just want to make sure that they get a chance to buy stuff there. That's all.
I think Matt's way too aware that this is being recorded. So.
Yeah. Wait, where's the microphone? Flash hard. Of sound mind and noble heart. Wish that my fellow players was coming to them.
I'm assuming you're just going to make this because it's nighttime. It's after dinner. I assume you're going to wait until the next morning on day 4 to go ahead and go to the potioners, or unless you want to go in the night. There's really not like.
Is there really a nighttime here?
Well, there's sort of like lighter night and darker night. So it's never, there's no sun or anything. It's always kind of dark.
And the other question is, if we go out and we go to the potioners or we go to the magic shop or whatever to see what we can buy and find and that sort of thing, if we go out at this point, would it potentially increase our chances of finding someone else to smash?
Yes.
To get that street reputation that we're looking to build, to get the attention of the demon who we eventually want to talk to.
I like that plan.
Can we dibs like somebody who's a slave holder that we can whack somebody and free the slave? I don't know how it works here. Is that a valid freedom?
No.
Well, theoretically, I mean, I don't know that. I mean,
I guess if we whack someone, then we take possession of their slave, and then
that doesn't work for me either. I'm just saying that I think there's a whole city full of people who would take unkindly to that.
I don't know that necessarily freeing the individual slave of someone that we find would be a problem. Disrupting the slave market at this point would be a
huge issue,
which we're going to do eventually.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's on the list.
You want to talk notoriety.
Me and the Paladin are going to be all over that. But for right now, we have this thin veil of control to try and not get us all murdered.
Right.
That's number 5 or 6.
Number 5.
Number 5 on the crisis list is doing something horrible to the slave market.
Okay.
Like causing a slave uprising, setting them all free, killing their masters, that sort of thing.
So, to be honest with you, pulling off some sort of massive disruption of the flesh markets would be a huge notoriety.
That's not what we want.
That would be a big, solid point of thing. But again, Nocticula.
Yeah, we're wanting to impress her, not piss her off.
Right.
At this moment.
Maybe it gets you
for now.
Okay, for now. Maybe it gets you brought in front of her.
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll happen.
Maybe in chains, but then that's when you pop the question and say, "Hey, we got in front of you because we needed to talk to you about this thing."
Yeah, not our plan.
I'd rather have, our reputation put us in front of her rather than us pissing her off to put in front of her. Because
notoriety, or
I want that doesn't piss her off because we're kind of wanting her ear to listen to us and agree with us.
But what I gather, though, is that the more days that the lawful good priest and the lawful good paladin spend here, the more difficult it's going to be to not make a move against that place. It is literally the darkest blight that exists.
Not good.
By the way, Les, I was just pawing through the Paladin's handbook again there. I think this would be better represented with remember was it the Life magazine, Goofus and Gander? Or the
Goofus and Gallant?
Goofus and Gallant, right.
Hey, there's Eric. Welcome, Eric. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Eric.
Hey, what's up, man?
Good to see you all. Harmless observer.
Well, you could be a witness to our notoriety that we're about to.
Yeah.
You might be in a splash zone of the blood flying. But,
Be very careful. May everything go smoothly.
Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah, it rarely happens, but thanks.
If it went smoothly, I'd be afraid.
Yeah. That would have us more concerned.
It's a trap.
Well, this map looks pretty intriguing. Murder Street Station, Mog Hill, Bone Town. This is great.
This is the
going down to
abyss.
Bone Town.
This is awesome. 10,000 delights. Where's Saltmarsh?
We're a long way from Saltmarsh, my friend. Long
A few
way.
planes away.
Anyway,
But-
please don't let me intrude. Carry on.
Okay. All right. So you guys are gonna go out and go to Melkor's Potioners.
And maybe the magic shop, and we'll see what we come across.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So
We'll see who we can aggravate along the way.
I'm assuming you call Cabby.
Well, where are these places in relation to the Worm Empire?
Well, so you can ask the concierge. So the concierge will tell you that Melkor's Potioners. He has to consult a little book. He says it's in Chimer, which is a little bit. So here's Chimer. It's in this neighborhood over here.
Which one?
Chimer.
Okay.
And there are magic shops and other things back there that should be able to get what you want over there. It's a pretty decent neighborhood, upscale shops, things like that.
So if we cab there,
Mm-hmm.
we're missing the opportunity to walk through what are less decent neighborhoods.
Well,
Now I get we're in the abyss, so a decent neighborhood here.
yeah, it's a
it
sliding
doesn't
scale.
count as it doesn't count as a decent neighborhood anywhere else.
Right.
But
Yeah.
as,
So
as
it's
part of the fact that our ideology is to again find some
Yeah.
wrongdoing to quell,
right.
kill some bad guys, and get sort of our names noticed even more than what we have thus far.
Right.
And-
Yeah. So your guess is that your DM probably accounted for this.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
so
that
we'll
would be my
take
guess.
we'll take Cabby to
We'll take
Chimer then.
Cabby.
All right. Let's have a look at Cabby again.
Where to?
I'm Cabby. Where are you guys going? So
Give
there's
us
nothing.
trouble.
There's nothing cooler than having a demon Cabby on speed dial. All right, so you guys are like, we want to go to Melkor's Potion. He's like, oh, I know the place. Hop in. And so you guys begin trucking north. You go past Hadrak Street Station, which is a big train station, the end of the red line, and you continue past. These particular lakes and canals are quite interesting. They're obviously created. These are not natural lakes that occur in this island. And there's a ton of those Carano demons going back and forth. And you can see them, as scary as Carano demons are, some of them are frankly venacing it up, where they have those long Carano demon boats. But then there's people in those boats and they're pulling them along and that kind of stuff. And there's a fair amount of traffic in there. You also see a couple of times, like you saw in the Royal Jinway, you see a couple of those water guys, the guys that look like frogs that are the water crafters. You see a couple of those guys kind of hanging out. There's an area as you pass this one here. There's a whole area around this thing that has like a pavilion, not a pavilion, but like steps coming out of the water, and it seems to be a place where a lot of these amphibian guys sort of hang out. So there's like, they're relaxing. There's vendors that are bringing by whatever these guys eat. You can see in some cases people are crafting water into various kinds of things and, sort of having a fun time. There's a lot of them got around there. You keep going north, and you cross underneath not only you cross over the orange line, but you also see more of the whales overhead, the whale ships flying overhead, and those still continue to freak you out. They're just so massive, and they have these big sort of gondola baskets sort of like stuck to the bottom of these things, and they make that noises that we played, which I'm not going to play, so don't worry, Chuck. But
we need to plane shift one of those things back to ours, and that'll be our home base from now on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
How cool would that be? Yeah, you could probably. I mean,
just flying over the plane.
It's a commercial city. You could probably buy one.
We'll like have some ballistas on there to keep the rocks off us.
Oh yeah. That'll be our straddle fortress.
Can you imagine flying over Dresden? Is like, hey, look what we got.
Look what we got.
Hey, all the dwarves are like, son of a bitch.
They're rappelling ropes.
Yeah, exactly. Come down there like Navy SEALs. But anyway, pretty soon you get to a place. There's a lot of commercial activity, and you get to a fairly large place called Melkor's Potioners. Big sign. It's pretty busy. You see, well, first of all, it's a much larger place than you initially assumed it would be. You're used to sort of potioner places in the prime material plane, which are like these like a hole in the walls.
Yeah, one small room. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some crazy witch in the background going, I mixed a little sulfuric acid and witch pee together, and I made this. Drink it. But that, this is not that kind of place. It's you see a lot of people going in and out. They're coming out with bags and little cases for potions and stuff like that. And you go in, kind of go through the door, and the little bell rings, and you can see there are probably 24 customers in there. Long, skinny store, and the shelves are just filled not only with potions that look like they haven't been made, but all kinds of raw materials, and you've got a whole rack that's marked reagents and all kinds of alchemical equipment. Melkor's Potioners is a big place, and there are probably easily 6 to 8 sort of tiefling and demon functionaries who are kind of going around behind there and serving the customers. One guy's taking gold and checking out. He's like, put that on your tab, ma'am. And yeah, put it on my tab. So he's obviously runs accounts here. And you guys are sort of like dumbfounded by this, because this is the absolute antithesis of any potion shop that you've been in the prime material plane. You think about all those little fart ass potion shops, and you're just like, maybe we shouldn't go back to the prime material plane. This place
is awesome. We're just gonna hang out in, the abyss.
Yeah, maybe I'll go into the slaving business with those drows. Gatto's like, yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, you don't. There's sort of a business, and you guys kind of like walk in there as a crew. Your first initial thing is you're kind of like surprised. It's well lit. It's very professional.
So I assume it's mostly demons and stuff in here?
A lot of demons, a lot of tieflings, some people that you think are like of half fiends. You don't see anybody that looks like you, and frankly, you get a couple of stares. People are like, who are these freaking prime material dorks doing in Melkor's Potioners? But yeah, it's mostly demons and tieflings. And remember those creatures those people, those oddly shaped people that you guys see a lot of in this city, where you suspect that they're demons or some sort of fiend, but they look nothing like demons and fiends that you've seen before, that you've ever encountered before. You remember the people with the books for heads and the antennae and all that kind of stuff. Just crazy stuff.
Okay. I think we need to go find the proprietor. All
right. So at some point, a guy comes up to you from behind the counter. Is like, "Hello, how can I help you? Welcome to Melkor's Potioners. I'm a demon, and I'm here to help you. Is there anything specific that you're interested in? What can I do for you today?"
Yeah, where's Melkor?
Yeah, we're looking for our old pal Melkor. He'll know.
Melkor, you mean the proprietor? Well, he's in the back, quite busy right now. We murdered him after that fight. So took over the Potioners.
He asked us to stop by.
He's in the laboratory right now.
Yeah, he asked us to stop by.
Oh, did he now? All right then. May I ask what name to give him?
His friends from the alley.
The pause that you guys are thinking of is like,
he doesn't actually know our names.
The primes from the alley are
friends from the alley.
I'm just imagining like a bunch of thought bubbles coming up over your heads. You know, it's like, what fake name should I use today?
Yeah.
Just tell him Bill Scaramouche said you. Well, you say the primes. Tell him the primes from the alley are here for a visit, and he's like, all right, odd, but I'll do it. And he sort of goes back into the thing. The next thing you hear is, the primes from the alley? Oh, they're here. Fantastic. And you see Melkor sort of like come running out from the back, and he comes out from behind the thing. He's like, oh, everyone, please. These are the primes that I told you about, the friends that helped me. Oh, I was going to be murdered by some demons, but these people who have no business helping me at all, and frankly, I have no idea where they came from, came through and just saved me out of the blue. I can't thank you enough. And he's like, comes around, he's like shaking everybody's hand and that kind of stuff. He's like, please, let me buy you a drink. It's the least I can do. Then we can talk about how I can suitably reward you for such an immense favor that you've given me. Please, everyone, I just want you to know these are the primes that I was telling you about. Welcome to my store.
Did we ever come up with a name for ourselves?
Are we still going with the Fellowship of Unwilling Participants?
That's too long.
Yeah, the FUP.
We need something more marketable.
Yeah, we need something more marketable.
Gang.
Oh
wait, I thought we were sort of on the down low here, so we need something for the notoriety.
But we need something, to attach the notoriety to.
The Scarlet Pimple Nails. The Scarlet Pimple Nails? No.
I think it should be. Well, the Scarlet Pimpernel was the thing on his face, right? Or on his ass? What is on his ass?
It was a birthmark on his butt.
His ass. That's right. That's what you can do. The butt birthmarks.
I'm not a good marketing guy, but I'm going to say no on that one.
Show them your butt before we attack.
So you guys are the butt birthmarks, eh? Prove it. All right. So, Don. All right. So I'm getting a bunch of messages from Don. Don, give me.
Done.
All right. So
if Eric is in a party, we call it the Fellowship of the Wooden Spoon. But all right, Eric.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
So, the Spooners.
So I'll get back to you about that, but give me a perception check.
Okay. I am not in the potion shop with you guys.
Yeah, Draugato decided to take a pass on the potioners. He's outside doing something. You don't know. Probably buying some slaves.
As soon as we notice a god is missing, I check for my wallet.
All right, hold on, Gatto. All right, I'm going to send you a message real quick. All right,
and then I'll leave everyone alone.
Yeah, and then I'll leave everyone alone.
Weird thing is, Flashheart checks for his wallet and can't find it, and Ilnor goes to check for his after he sees that and finds Flashheart's wallet.
Flashheart's wallet.
It's like, I don't have mine, but I've got Flashheart's.
We didn't land on it yet.
Are you guys seeking each other's secret notes?
Yeah.
Okay. You get that one?
Insecure. He's probably asking if he still likes him.
Oh yeah, they're my first target.
Okay.
And if he has a date for prom.
Well,
right, exactly.
They wouldn't be among your first 3 targets.
Okay.
Everybody's like, "What are you targeting?"
We'll talk later.
I have an itch in my neck. Okay.
Well, hopefully this particular thing will come to a head this evening.
I know what I'm going to ask for. I'm going to ask for a anti-bleed potion here, just in case. God,
here, take a keg. Give it to all your friends. So he brings you back, and he's got like a little conference room in the back. It's and as you kind of like pass through there, people are like looking at you like, what in the hell? Because everybody's like heard him talking, and he was ostensibly talking to his employees, which you can assume are the people that he told the story to. But all the customers in there hear it, and they're all like, so he leads you back, and he asks one of his employees to, go get a couple of bottles of wine from the fridge and bring them out here, all glasses and that kind of stuff. Then he brings you into this conference room. It's obviously a room where they store. It's sort of backstage, right? In a store. We've all been in retail locations where you go past the shiny decorations, and all of a sudden it's like a warehouse.
Yeah.
This has a warehouse feel. There's some crates stacked around. He's like, just brush that stuff off the table, and you hit the chairs, and there's dust and crap on them. But basically, you all sit around a conference table, They bring a couple of bottles of wine. He cracks them and pours everybody. And he says, "Look, I cannot thank you enough for what you guys did for me." He goes, and the fact that you came to my store, frankly, I never expected to see you again. Honestly, I never expected to be saved from what certainly was almost going to be certain death by a bunch of primes. I just can't believe it. So he says, I've put together a couple of things for you, which I just hope you'll like. He goes, I've put together a selection of potions for you that I think that you will really enjoy. But first, I want to show you some of the gift. I've had this for a while. I picked it out for specifically for you guys. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And he reaches out. He's like, "Rachel, bring that in. Bring it in." Apparently, one of his servants' name is Rachel. She's a young tiefling woman. She comes in and she's got her teeth and her horns are all over the place. She's got a little box, and she brings that box in and sets it on the floor. He's like, "This is what I wanted to show you." And he goes, "I wanted to give you this. I've had it for a long time, but I wanted to give it to you guys." And he opens up the little box, and inside is, well, what looks to be some sort of jewel, but it's cut in certain ways that it's like flat. So like he lifts it out and it's like this blue jewel. It's not like very bright. It's not carved in a way or polished in a way that makes it like shiny. It doesn't, like a diamond would be or a sapphire. It's actually kind of slatey looking, but it is cut very, very specifically in certain ways so that it forms like a flat kind of plate. It's thin, about the size of a rye bread sandwich. And he says, "This has been, I've used this many times. It's been very valuable to me. I want you guys to have it. Essentially, the way he goes on to describe it is essentially it can be used as a very good focus for scrying. And so if you guys have a scry spell or anything like that, the gems, give me a quick appraisal."
Who's got appraisal? I think I've got appraisal. Gatto probably has it, right?
I thought about appraisal once.
I got a 2 in it. Yeah, if we need me to do appraisal.
I got nothing.
All right, I'm gonna roll my my appraisal.
Close that door though.
Can I add my charisma to it because I'm so charming? It looks super valuable.
What'd you get?
I got a 4.
Yeah, you got no idea.
Yeah, we need Gatto for this one.
Okay, well, I do have a 2 in appraisal as well, so
come on, do it.
Seeing that he's confused, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just as bad as he is.
I'm just as bad. Hey, we're consistent. We know exactly what this is worth.
A 9.
So technically, I have a 1.
All
I can
right.
work my whole life and never see a 9.
Please try a better roll.
Ooh, an 11. That's awesome, man. The leader. So yeah, I mean, you guys aren't entirely sure of what it's worth. The way he talks about it, though, is, I mean, he talks about it like it's incredibly valuable. And somebody took a fair amount of time with it. You're not sure what kind of stone it is, and it's certainly not translucent. I mean, it looks like a stone, but it's been carved in a very specific way so that it has a flat surface on the top of it, and you could set it on a table. And basically what he explains to you is like, this is a great scrying device. So to scry, you have to have a focus. And some people, he's like, some people will just use a pool of water as if, you're going to see anything good out of that. He says, if you use this scry, this will work a lot better than a crappy pool of water or a crystal ball or some sort of other piece of shit that you use for scrying. This will work a lot better. And it does radiate magic.
So we are very gracious and tell him thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you are that you're pleased with this. It just makes it so much better. I can't tell you how pleased I am with it. So you take that. And then he says, all right, bring out the other case. So I've put together a selection of some of my most interesting, not necessarily my finest, but some of my most interesting potions that I want you guys to have. And I think it would be great. He says, so
it's pretty much his clearance rack is what it is.
You gotta roll a real number.
He opens up this case, and inside are a series of 6 crystal flasks. Each one is of cut glass or crystal, and it's shaped in a different way. The stoppers are different. Some are waxed, some are not. They're all different, but they're all in this padded case. So they've, it's sort of like a thing. And he pulls the first one out, and it's sort of a blue kind of thing. He goes, "This is a potion of lunar prophecy." He says, "With this potion, you can seek guidance from our moon, the moon above Alushinyrra, to how best to prepare yourself and your allies for what's ahead."
Ooh.
Everybody who wants to understand the potion needs to be standing within 10 feet of whoever drinks it. But you can ask the moon a question, and you will receive guidance from the moon as to what you should do next in response to that question.
Awesome.
So it's a potion of lunar prophecy.
Mike, are you writing these down?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that's one.
The second one is a clear liquid. That was a blue liquid. The second one is a clear liquid. And he says, now this one, frankly, is more poison than potion. And he kind of gets a smile on his face. But he says, this is a potion of insomnia. And if you give this to somebody, you steal, any creature that drinks this will lose their ability to rest or sleep. They cannot sleep, and they will start accruing fatigue penalties, and they won't be able to heal naturally. And he looks at Illinois. He says, this even works on elves who normally do not sleep. It would even work on androids who don't need sleep either. It will,
whatever those are.
Whatever those are.
What about dragons? Does it work on dragons?
They got flying basket whales here, so they've heard of androids.
Les, does it work on dragons?
It works on any creature that drinks it. And what will happen is it will be unable to sleep. It can't get any rest. It won't heal naturally until finally, after a few days of no sleep and no rest, they simply go insane and explode.
We're missing something, Les.
What are you missing?
I said, does it work on dragons?
I'm not there.
Why, yes, it does.
Storm's outside with you. And you get slapped for no reason. Well, a reason.
And one to grow on.
And one to grow on. That was from earlier when I said dragon on the other thing. Oh, I said it again.
Gatto tells him, tell them to stop saying that.
So you don't sleep for several days and then you just explode? Is that?
Well, not explode, but yeah, eventually your brain, you get the way he does it. He goes, look, I'm a potioner. I don't know the medical aspects of it, but yes, if my understanding is that eventually the lack of sleep and the lack of healing causes the brain of the creature who's drunk the potion to begin to have aneurysms and strokes until they die. He finds this immensely amusing.
Cool.
So that it is a.
If like Gatto were there, he would find it amusing also.
we walked into the Spencer's joke shop of potioners here.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lunar prophecy one, a bunch of no-dos, and
potion of insomnia. So this one.
And what about the one that Don was going to try to appraise? Did you appraise
Don's still outside.
Okay.
Unless you come back in.
Nope.
Because if you peek in, you notice that they're not in the store anymore.
They're not in the store anymore.
You don't see them.
Nope. We left you behind.
We went to the prime material plane. Sorry.
I go in the store and say, "Hey, where did those other primes go?"
Oh yeah, they went backstage with the boss. What about it?
I need to go with them.
Why?
I'm with them.
Says you.
Says they do.
I'll have to check first. Hold on a second. Stay right there. Sketchy ass drow looking motherfucker.
He goes back. If he doesn't let me in, I'm going to bring this dragon in, and it's going to slap someone around.
Uh-oh. Yeah, and the person that's going to slap is you.
Me.
So he comes back after a minute. He's like, all right, go on in. And he leads you back to where the thing is. So eventually Draugato comes in and is like, the hell, guys, you left me? And you see all these guys looking over. They've got some sort of weird gemstone in there in front of them. And they're looking over. They're all peering into like a box full of what looks to be potions. And you guys like.
And one of them disappears before we can even get to it.
What are you looking at these 3 potions? I mean, 2 potions are. 1 potion, is that all we get?
All right, so the next one is a pink potion. It's not translucent. It looks a little bit like Pepto-Bismol. And he said this one is even more interesting than the Insomnia one. He said, this is a potion of unrequited love. Basically what this does is whoever drinks this becomes tragically enamored with the next person they see and will at the same time become convinced that they have some sort of terrible shortcoming and will never be able to win that creature's love. And on their next action, the despair of this unrequited love forces the victim of the spell to attempt suicide, the potion to attempt suicide. And that person will immediately attempt a coup de grace against themselves using their most powerful melee weapon at their disposal. They automatically hit and score a critical, and if they survive, they'll have to do a fortitude check or die. And if they have sneak attack, they apply sneak attack damage to the wound.
Oh, they could bleed on themselves?
Did you have to look at Gato when you said that?
No, but it's more fun.
It's more fun to do so. So yeah, so it's a potion of unrequited love. Basically what it does is somebody drinks it, and the next creature that they see, and it's usually the person giving them the potion, they fall completely head over heels in love with, but at the same time they find within themselves that they are completely they have some sort of terrible shortcoming that
they will never be able to get it right.
They will never be able to win that person's love, and it's so psychologically debilitating that they immediately coup de grace themselves with their overwhelming.
So if they survive that, they're not still in love with a person, are they?
No. If they manage to survive all of that, then the potion.
Then they get over them.
Is there a save on the? Is there a save on the other 2 potions?
Yes.
Mike, I think you're right. This is the clearance rack.
What are you kidding me? These are kick-ass potions.
This is the Walmart rack with like Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That personal massager they have in the corner there.
Number 4, he goes, this one is this was an interesting one. It's green colored. It's sort of a soupy sort of green, like a bright green color. And he says this one is not technically a potion. It's kind of strange. It's more of a thing. So what happens is when you drink this, you are able to speak with plants, and you are able to it gives you the ability to convince a plant to become a spy for you. And as long as that plant is alive, all visible and auditory activities that occur within 50 feet of the plant are stored within the plant. And anytime afterwards, you and only you can touch the plant and experience the information stored within inside it. So you basically turn a plant into a tape recorder. And when you go back and touch the plant, it disgorges the information that it has recorded.
Like Linda Tripp's flower on her lapel there.
So does it work with mobile plants?
Don't see why not.
Like cactus men?
Well, cactus men are sentient, so that would not work. This is a regular plant. You have to use a regular plant.
Oh. It has to be like a living plant, not like a cut.
What he will, well, you know what? What he will tell you is he's never tried it on a cacticade, but it might work. They are plant creatures.
All right. Well.
All right.
That's a pretty interesting one. I like that one.
So that's the
for those of you who survived your unrequited love suicide attempt, you can hang out with your plant at home and talk with it.
So the 5th one, he says this you can use in conjunction with the scry stone, and he says you take it, and so its color it is in many ways the color of the stone. It's like a slatey blue gray color, but it's translucent. You can see through it. And he says when you use this stone, what you do is you take this potion, you pour it on top of the stone, and what that allows you to do is, as you're doing your scry and you're getting information, if you're focused on a single creature, if you focus your scry on a single creature, you can read that creature's mind for the duration of the scry.
I like that one.
Now, it won't work on groups of creatures because it's too psychologically damaging to read the minds of multiple creatures at once.
What's the save on that one?
I can't tell you.
Okay. Well, but it does have a save, I guess, is the question.
Well, it would have a save on the scryed. The scryed creature would get a save. Yes.
Right.
Like, there are several of our enemies that could be very useful for right there.
Okay. And where is it? I can't find it. This one is probably my favorite, the sixth one. It is, now, it's a little evil, but it's a fun one. I think you'll like it. When you drink this potion, you can reach out with a grasping motion towards a person or somebody who's displeased you in some way, and cause its heart to leap out of its chest and land in your hand. A target with 200 or fewer hit points that fails the save is instantly reduced to negative hit points equal to your caster level of the potion, and the creature is staggered until the beginning of the next turn, at which point it dies. I've seen this in action, and it is fantastic. You are really going to love it. Basically, you drink it, you point at the creature, and you pull its heart out.
Very Bruce Lee of you.
Okay, at this point, Ildar looks over at Gatto and says, "You are never allowed to touch any of these."
This potion right here is the top of the notoriety chart.
Like,
We want to build some notoriety, pulling a dude's heart out in the main square.
Yeah, so you don't even have to. So the fun part is you don't even have to touch them.
I'm going to refer to the Paladin notebook here. Can I drink the potion and pull the guy's heart out?
Hold on, I'm going to have to say probably paladins. Probably no.
Who's the one person who could use it?
You're still not allowed to touch it.
We'll just give it to Farina to keep you on the
to keep Gatto in line.
Keep Gatto in line.
She'll just kind of walk by and kind of raise her hand a little bit.
Yeah. She's always got like a little drink in her hand, like, "How you doing, Gatto?"
So he basically says, "Look, I want you to take these. These gifts are mine. These are some of the most interesting potions I have. I want you to have them. I can't thank you enough for the service that you've done to me, done for me. And in addition, for as long as you're in Alushinyrra, you come here, you shop at my store, Melkor's Potion. Any potion you want to buy, 25% off across the board, no matter what. Your entire purchase for as long as you're here."
Gatto wants to appraise the plant one. How much was that one worth?
The plant one? I don't even. Give me you got an appraise roll?
I rolled a 20.
20? Honestly, you don't have any frame of reference for this.
Okay.
You've never heard of a potion that allows you to turn a plant into a spy?
I never heard of a potion that would do any of these.
So you're just like easily. If you brought this back to the prime material plane, just the novelty of it would probably generate a couple of thousand gold, because nobody has ever heard of this thing.
Right.
As far as selling it here, if you wanted to do that, I don't know. It would depend. You could take it to a couple of places and ask around. Probably not thousands, but man, in the prime material, something like this would be hotly contested for. Any of these would be hotly contested for.
Yep.
Sweet.
So the scrying stone, what that does is it extends the range and reduces the chance of failure when used for scrying.
Okay.
Like I said, the one potion, if you pour it over there, you can read the mind of a scrying target.
I think we need to be polite and
what's this guy's name again?
Melkor.
Thank Melkor for these generous gifts. Some of them, obviously, you're not in the paladin realm of usability, but I think that's very generous of him to give this to us.
I don't know that it would be a violation of the Paladin Code if you turned a plant into a recording device.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay. What were the other ones?
That recording device.
The suicide one. Iffy.
Iffy. Yeah, the Bruce Lee heart ripping out one. I like that one.
That's a nice one.
And then there was a scrying stone, and then
what was the first potion?
Lunar Prophecy. So
that's what it was.
So Flash Heart, Lunar Prophecy, or the plant tape recorder thing, those are pretty much the only two you can ever use.
Okay.
Well, Lunar Prophecy might be a little bit dicey too.
Why's
You're
that?
basically asking the moon, an abyssal moon, to help you from a spiritual standpoint. Ah, yeah, probably okay. I'm sure
You're not promising to worship the moon. You're just asking it for help.
Using it as a tool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you could justify that.
I would use it for a tool. Come on.
So I'll take the other 3, 4, whatever.
No,
sure.
Well, so the thing. So a couple of things. I mean, the plant one, if you wanted to spy on some people, that would be a good one. I like your idea of maybe surreptitiously using a cacticay as the plant. Because the plant wouldn't necessarily be aware that it was being used as a sentient plant wouldn't necessarily be aware that it was recording everything around it. For your thing, the problem being is how do you get the information back? You have to touch it to get the information back for that sort of thing.
We're friends.
Well, they have their cactuses, so they have spines too.
Right.
So we have to choose one that shaves those spines off.
That's true. There's a lot of them that shave. The scry one obviously goes with the scry thing. The heart ripper outer, that's a pretty cool one from a performance combat standpoint.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. Whoever said that, that's actually a great idea.
I think there would be a lot of people in an arena that would really, in a demon arena, they would probably dig that. And then the plant one, the unrequited love one, that's a little evil.
Now, the unrequited love one, you have to get the other person to drink it.
Right. Now, the other person doesn't necessarily have to see you to have the ill effects. It's just the next
whoever they see next.
Whoever they see next. Yeah, or whoever they're looking at.
Pulling out the heart one, you drink it and pull out someone else's heart.
Correct.
The moon one, you drink it, ask the moon.
The insomnia one, they drink it and suffer.
Insomnia one, they drink it. The plant one, they drink it, or you put it on.
Drink it.
Huh?
You drink the plant one.
Oh.
And then touch the plant to get it started?
Yeah, and then you touch the plant to get started.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically what it does is
in
you
a
get
platonic manner, please.
Yeah, you get you give it a little, plant.
In a very consenting way.
Yeah, in a consenting way. But yeah, no, and then basically it turns it into an audio-visual recorder, and whatever that plant sees and hears over the course of however long you leave it alone, it records, and then you come back, you touch it again, and your brain is filled with the recording. So then you can see everything they've seen and heard. Okay? That's all of them, right? That's all the potions?
Yep.
6 potions. Okay. But yeah, so he's like, and 25% off of any potion in the store. Just let me know. Please feel free, shop, look around. If you need, I can put one of my guys. And that goes for alchemical materials too. We sell a lot of reagents and raw materials and things like that. So if you like making your own potions, we can accommodate that too. But please look around and if there's anything that you're interested in, ask me or one of my employees. And thank you again.
Mm-hmm. Tell them thank you, and yeah.
We were very happy to have been in the right place at the right time to help you.
Well, it worked out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts it in everything in a Bob's Burglary Barn bag, and says, you don't necessarily want to be showing this off.
No.
So, all right.
Do we want to buy anything while we're here? I mean, this is all the gift stuff, but
yeah,
it's a potion shop. There's some good stuff to probably buy here.
And 25% off. It's 20 book minus 25.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a potion of gaseous form.
Gaseous form. Let's look that up, shall we?
Yeah, that's what we get when that bird guy comes in our room.
$7.50.
$7.50. 25% off of $7.50 is
gaseous form is what Yago left behind in our room. Yardley.
He did actually. I mean, after he left, you'd look back there. He did take a small dump back there.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Housekeeping.
Yeah.
5 minus 750 is So gaseous form at 750 would cost you, and they'll round down, 560.
Okay.
What would be good? What kind of potion would be good for Paladin?
To be honest, the best cure potion you can get, which I don't know if he'd have many of those here.
Potion of immune to evil doings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about performance-wise? What else besides the Bruce Lee heart ripping out? Something that makes me glow, or something that
if you want
protects my
something
boys.
performance-wise, one-shot deal, blink.
Blink. Okay.
Yep.
Heroism.
The third level. Now, potions only go up to third level, so.
Not here.
I understand when it comes
What
to
level do potions
performance.
go up to here?
If you can think it, they probably can make it.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that.
Matt, heroism is good for a paladin.
Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll see if they have any blink or heroism. I understand for performance potions that if they last more than 4 hours, I should see.
You should probably call someone.
Yeah.
Alchemist or something. Yeah.
You should see your nearest cleric.
Well, like heroism greater lasts for 10 minutes per level. You get a +4 morale bonus on attacks, saves, and skill checks, immunity to fear effects, and temporary hit points equal to your caster level.
I'm immune to fear anyway, but.
Right, but you temporary hit points equal to the caster level of the potion.
Oh wow, that's
Plus
pretty sweet right there.
It's a good stat one. It's not a good show one.
Right, plus the
It would
plus
definitely
4
help
bonus.
you. That would actually help you in the arena if you're.
Yeah, if we fight that dude.
Fight in the
I
arena.
don't want to start with him though. I want to work my way up. And what about the blink one? That's just basically a short teleport. Is that what that is?
Basically, gives you blink in and out of existence like quickly, and so it gives them anyone who's fighting you gives them a 50% miss chance. But when you're fighting, literally you are,
Blinking in and out all the
blinking
time.
in and out all the time. So you make a swing and you might blink 3 or 4 times during the middle of that swing. You hit them and they try to swing back and they swing right through you because you blinked out at the time.
So blink, they got heroism greater. If you they got regular heroism. If you want greater heroism, it'll take a day, but they can concoct that for you. The blink is 562. It's a 3rd level spell, so there's that. That's in addition to gas form. And I got to calculate the thing. So if greater heroism clocks in at 6th level, yeah, that's 6th. So
that's going to be super expensive.
It's going to be expensive. But again, 25% off. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, the 25 off is amazing. But
is that today only, or can I go earn some coin here? And then
as long as you guys are in Alushinyrra,
in the city, right?
In the city, the 25% off is pretty much for life.
I will be paying him in his own coins here.
Through stuff here. So I'm trying to figure out how they did this math. It's the level of the spell, creator's caster level times 50. Okay, so that's good. So heroism, creator's caster level is going to be that.
What level spell?
It's a 6th level spell, so it's 300 times. So yeah,
caster level is probably around 11th.
11, yeah.
Minus 25.
So 6 times 11 times 50, and then times 0.75.
Yep.
That's still a lot.
You need some. It's
24.75.
Ooh, I'll pass on that one for now, but I'll take the other one.
The blink.
Yeah. How are we paying for this? I don't think I have any. I think any demon cash we've choked up by put to the main kitty.
That'll be 11.20, sirs.
Okay.
For the 2 of them.
For the 2 potions, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Let
me look at your
done
party.
yet, are we?
I gladly pay for this potion on Tuesday.
What was that, Dan?
There was one I wanted to get. I was just waiting for a time to get a blurb in there.
A word in.
Yeah, so a word in. So I hope we're not
Put
done
myself
yet,
on
right?
mute right now.
What potion were you interested in?
A potion of vitality would be great.
Vitality. What is that?
Speaking of lasting more than 4
It's
hours.
cheap. I keep waiting for one to fall and it never falls. So
Yeah, the drop rate in this game is really.
it removes
level drain.
So I can bounce back into
rage
quickly if I need to.
Oh.
What level is
it? It's only 50 gold pieces. It's a cheapie.
Oh, it's a cantrip?
No, it's a
first level.
First level. It's
first level, yes, 50. So and 25% off on 50, so that would be 37.50. Let's say 37.
We'll get you a few of those.
Okay.
How many where are you going to get?
We'll get 3 of them for them. That's a little over 100.
Speaking of things we cast all the time, do we need things like an enlarge spell or something? Because that seems to be the -- spell we cast in this group.
1231 so far.
Of which one?
Enlarge or whatever it is. When we get Dan and I get all swole and huge.
Well, typically, Bardo has a bunch of those. I mean, he can do
Okay,
those a
that's fine.
bunch. So
I don't really need it.
typically, like what I like to
where
use
can we,
spells
do
for
a
are
money
utility
exchange?
I
one-off
missed that.
things that you
Currency
never
exchange.
memorize.
We have a bunch of prime material gold. We want to get money for this place.
Well, you could do it at the hotel. So the hotel provides that service, and I believe what I quoted you guys was 8%.
Okay.
I think I quoted 8%. If you can find evidence that I quoted something different, then we'll conform to that.
And what's the
But I
8%?
8% is this
for money exchange.
money exchange by the hotel to
Okay.
Alushinyrra currency. Now you have some Alushinyrra currency
We
already.
have some, right?
We just got a bunch. We just can't whip out that wallet while we're in this store.
Or in the presence of a paladin.
Or in the presence of Flashheart, right?
Where'd we get a
Or
bunch?
Gato, for that matter.
From this guy's wallet. We never turned it back in. We could
Yeah.
turn it in right here.
Or a
Win
priest.
him over twice. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
Do we know how much money is in it?
I don't know.
None. There's
Write
never
it
any
down.
money in it.
There's no money in it.
Stop asking Gato moral questions.
Yeah. Looking through the notes.
I have scruples. I really do.
I just don't use them.
Caravan,
They're just in your
cars.
sock
They're just
drawer, and you
different
leave them at
than yours,
home.
is all.
150 of it was Melkor.
150? Okay. So you got 150 of regular currency.
No, we've actually got more than that.
Okay.
But what I got here in my notes is you said that 150 of it, we suspected or we thought, because it was in a separate bag, we thought that was from Melkor.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
And we did not give it back, and we are not giving it back to him.
It is right.
I see nothing. I hear nothing.
I don't know. Lothar might not be too cool about that either.
I don't know who knows or doesn't know about it.
Well, I obviously
You weren't
don't.
overt about it.
All right.
I remember what I said, Les, was I looked at Gato, I looked at Flashheart, and I put it in my pocket. Because I didn't want either of them to know.
All right. So what do you like? Sort of sidle up to the table and say,
No.
I
I would not whip it open here, but
Okay.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
whip this out.
That line never gets old.
Ever.
Yeah.
A movie that cannot be made today at all ever.
Oh, no, not even close.
All right. So all right. So how much non-stolen Alushinyrra cash do you have and want to use to pay this bill? Because you're at 1231.
I forgot we've actually only got 287, and that's if we're keeping Melkor's.
Well,
We need their currency to buy these potions, right?
So I think what we'll do.
yeah, they're not a money changer. So they'll be like, what is this? What is this? Pennies? We can't use this.
Yeah, so I think we'll buy Fletcher's potions since we can afford those.
Okay.
The one for Flashheart and the one for Illendar, we're going to wait on.
Okay. So that's 111 for those potions.
Right.
And then you just ask them can you hold this for us? We'll be back with more money.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they're happy to.
So that means we're down to 170 with 150 of that belonging to Melkor if we choose to give it back.
If you choose to give it back. Although I have to say, if you come back like a couple of days from now and say, by the way, we found your wallet.
No, this has to be done on this trip. Otherwise, we don't do it.
Right, yeah. It's either now or for hold your breath.
Well, Lothar doesn't know about it. Is someone asking him?
No.
No. But the
How
chaotic
could we ask
good,
about something we don't know about?
the chaotic
will set
good
you free.
barbarian is trying to figure out what
Of course, you guys do ask me about
Chaotic
things you
good
don't know about all the time.
he's an evil demon, right?
The
This
potioner?
guy's evil. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awful evil.
All evil here.
Yeah.
Awful and awful to boot. No, I'm not giving it back. I'm not saying anything to anybody.
Okay.
Guess I'll have to start memorizing.
So tell you
super
what, since
terrible remove
Fletcher,
spells
since you're the one
every
that
day.
knows about this, I'm going to take this off my sheet. So you put on there, you've got 150 currency from here, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah, if you just noted like
Keep it
instead
for
of just regular
emergency.
GP, you can just put it as like AGP.
EGP.
That'll help keep track Alushinyrra gold pieces versus.
Yeah, so then I'm going to go back to. So now I've only got 20 since we bought the potions. I'm only going down to 20 that I've got on me.
20 AGP.
Yep.
Okay.
What does the A of the AGB stand for?
Alushinyrra.
Oh, okay.
Asshole.
I guess. Like DGP, demonic gold pieces.
DGP. We can do that. What do you guys like better, Alushinyrra gold pieces or demonic gold pieces?
Hey,
AGP.
AGP. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We're probably going to have some little bit. Was the magic shop close to here too, or was the magic shop somewhere else?
There are several magic shops nearby. Yeah.
Any that deal in weapons? Because we've got some weapons that no one took. We've got a scorpion, a +1 scorpion whip.
Are these demon weapons or are they like?
Yeah, I think this is what. Yeah, and
Okay.
an obsidian rod of wonder, a breastplate +1.
I can't believe you guys aren't whipping out that rod of wonder every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's flowers. It's a sleep spell. Nobody knows.
I was gonna make a dick joke there, but I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
take the high road.
if you guys are looking to sell, you know,
The
there
magic
are.
shop would be the place to do it.
Yeah, there's places
we
just
get
down the block.
AGP out of that. So
Yep, there's a couple of places down the block that deals in all sorts
we'll
of
be
magic.
right back.
we'll be right back.
So, all right. So you guys run down there and you go into Magic Shop. This place isn't as nice, I guess, is for lack of a better term, as Melkor's.
Upscale.
Yeah. Behind the counter is a big hezrou, which are like frog demons. He's got a couple of smaller hezrous kind of like walking around. The place is kind of smelly, but they do seem to have a fair amount of both weapons and other types of magic items.
So did anybody have any interest in those 3 things I said, or before we sell them?
And what were they again, Mike?
It was a +1 scorpion whip, an obsidian rod of wonder, and a +1 breastplate.
I mean, I don't even know what a water wonder does. So
Nobody
Basically,
knows
it's
what
a
a wand of
random.
wonder does.
Exactly. You don't find out till after.
You try to use it, you roll random. It could be a lightning
So
bolt. It
to
could
me,
be a
that's not
string of
even worth
butterflies.
having, because
yeah, I don't need rando in my life.
no, we're in the abyss. That's random enough.
Yeah, we're in 2020. I don't need rando in my life.
So yeah, Rod of Wonder is a strange and unpredictable device that randomly generates any number of weird effects each time it is used. Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody make one?
If
Yeah.
you are a chaotic character,
Why would you not?
Why
Why
do
would,
your thing?
that's perfect.
yeah.
All right, cool. So the
How
guy's
much
like,
is that worth?
They're pretty expensive, aren't they?
fair amount, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not cheap.
So we're selling that as, like I said. Does anyone want a +1 scorpion whip or a +1 breastplate? Because if not, we're going to sell those too.
Sell them.
I would say sell them because I think at this point everybody has something better
Okay.
or is using what they have because they don't want whatever.
Yep.
Matt, now's the time. Now's your chance to put radiance away and use a +1 scorpion whip.
And we'll get you a fedora.
Sorry.
And
I checked the handbook. It says I can't use it. Sorry.
And you
It
can
says I
refer
can't use it.
and you can refer to everyone as Milady.
All right, so welcome, Primes. Welcome to Adelard. What can I do for you?
Here to sell.
Here to sell. Oh, well, we buy and sell here all the time. I'm very curious to see what a fine, strapping group of non-demons coming into my store has for sale. Please approach the counter and let's have a look.
So I walk up and whip it out.
Ah,
The rod.
that's a fine rod you have there.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It's making me wonder about it. See what I did there?
Yeah.
That's what hezrous think of as funny.
That's funny.
All right, so he's like, oh, that's interesting. What do you know anything about it? The provenance of it? Not that I if you don't have any paperwork on it, that's fine. I think we can still come to an arrangement. But obviously, it affects the price.
I do not have any paperwork on it.
Understood completely, sir. It's a long way to Galarian from here, so I imagine paperwork gets lost.
I left it in my other pants.
Left it in your other pants. Well, all right. Well, let's see if let's check this out. So he actually begins pulling up a bunch of what look to you like little machines. There's a balance. There's some sort of like something that looks like one of those balls that those strings of balls that that science teachers have to show kinetic energy. Something that looks like a weird sextant. He's got some little like dentist picks and things like that, and he basically puts out a big piece. He's got a big piece of like velvet covered leather out on the showcase. And you set the rod down. He's like, all right, let's take a look. And he takes these things, he taps it, and you can see him pouring some incantations over it and that kind of stuff, and just sort of like does all this kind of like weird stuff to it. And he's like, well, it's a fine example of a rod of wonder. I can't fault you for that. Now, obviously, with appropriate provenance.
Like it.
I bet they do. I've heard good things about Galarian ladies. I've never eaten one, but I always wanted to. So I tell you what, on one hand, we've got a fine example of a rod of wonder here. Seems perfectly capable. Charges are solid. On the other hand, if we had better provenance, things like that, I might be able to go a little higher. I tell you what, I can go as much as 2,800 on this.
Not even close, dude.
Not even. What are you talking about? That's the going rate. I'm giving you a hell of a deal here.
Pretty close.
If I made a trip back to the prime, I could probably get at least 5, maybe even 6 for it.
6,000 gold. These Alushinyrra gold pieces for something of this. Look, don't get me wrong. It's a fine magic item, but frankly. Oh, wait, we're demons. We're also chaotic. I guess we can find somebody who likes it.
Yeah, demons are all
Yeah,
weird.
demons are going to love something. You guys are going to love stuff like this.
I forgot that.
It's unpredictable.
It's unpredictable. I suppose with a bit of showmanship, I could, if I found the right part. I have somebody in mind, so perhaps I can go as much as, what did I say before?
28,000.
I can go as high as 32.5 on that. But I'll tell you what, you're really breaking my bank on this.
Breaking my balls.
I like primes. I always have. I've always wanted to eat several of them. Never got a chance to. But
that means something different to us. So.
No. Oh, I mean, like actually for dinner. But I'm a frog demon, so you can't really hold that against me. So what do you say? 32.5. We have a deal.
Mike, you tell us. I have no idea.
I'm going to try diplomacy and see if I can get him. I'm going to try 4, but I would settle for 3,500. So diplomacy, I guess, is how well I do that.
All right, let's do some diplo.
So 26.
26 is pretty good. Let me do a sense motive, just to see if he can counter program it. So hold on just a second. All right, hezrous are known to be very motive sensy. So
motive sensy.
Well, no, I guess maybe they're not very motive sensy because I don't see it anywhere here. Spellcraft, stealth, swim. They got great swim. All right. So he's like, Drow, you drive a hard bargain. I knew walking in that you were going to be trouble for me. All right, tell you what, because I want to do this deal, because I feel like you're the kind of drow, you're the kind of prime that you're going to come back here. You're going to remember the name of Hezrou Adelard and Adelard's Magic Shop. You're going to be coming back here soon. I can guarantee it. So I'll tell you what, on this initial purchase for this particular item, which I will admit is a good condition, I'll be willing to go as high as, you could see him struggling with it. He's like, how about 38. But I gotta tell you, I felt that one in my gut here. I think I've got a hernia from that one. You're driving a hard bargain, Drow. You're killing me. just an old hezrou demon trying to eke out a living here. 3,800.
I've got multiple things here I'm willing to sell.
I'm not even gonna have money for sardines later.
Can I do a sense motive?
Sure.
So I'm gonna tell him.
Oh, he's like that Mike guy from Pawn Stars. He's like $1.50 is the best I can do. He's ripping you guys off.
I'm going to lean forward and whisper to Ilendar.
He's a demon, though. It's not. We didn't expect him to rip us off.
That his offer is about 8 times too low.
So what do you want? 20,000 for it?
It's not worth that. All right. So he sees him lean up and whisper something to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. Well, he did give me some bit of revelation, but I'm gonna play that up and say, "Oh, okay." Look back to him and say, "Okay, $5,000, or I take it elsewhere."
$5,000. I can't even. I don't think I even have $5,000 in the store. I mean, frankly, I think you're being. I like you, Drow, but I think you're being a bit ridiculous about this. I mean, this is a simple rod of wonder. All right, wait. You start like walking away. He's like, all right, I'll go.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my God. All right, wait, Drow. Your name, please. If I'm going to be screwed so hard by a Drow, I'd like to know his name.
I didn't know his name.
Perhaps a wee kiss, if you don't mind.
We've got a nice pink glass of wine you could try.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Not the Pepto.
The priest didn't. The priest didn't say that. My bad.
It's Ben.
Ben?
Yeah.
Be bend over because that's what
That's
you're doing to me.
That's exactly who it is.
Well, Ben, let me tell you this. 5,000. I have to say, right now. I mean, simply out of the question. I honestly, even if I wanted to give you 5,000 for this, I could. I don't think I have that much in this store.
Okay.
But let's before you walk out the door, and I feel like, like I said before, I feel like that treating you fairly today is going to bring me more business in the future. So I'm cultivating a customer here. I want you to understand that. How about? Oh God, you can see him literally shuddering. 4,200. It's the highest I could go. It's that, frankly,
Okay.
if you don't take 42, honestly, I think you should go.
Okay. So at that stage, I basically turned back to Lothar since he was one talking to me and said, "Yeah, I think I overestimated this guy." So
Overestimated? Well,
I say thanks. We'll go find somewhere else. And I do walk out.
I think you're making. He looks over at Lothar. He's like, "Look, I don't know what you told him, but I think your friend is making a terrible mistake. He's not going to get a better deal than 4,200. Frankly, I can't believe the words came out of my mouth. Please talk some sense into your friend Ben."
I have.
It's like, I have actually.
That's why we're leaving.
That's why we're leaving.
But it's terrible. I can't even afford it. I guess you must go.
Okay. All right.
So you guys all find yourself back out on the street like, shit, we probably should have took the 4,200.
No, I'd rather, knowing what it's worth, I'd rather have that amount in.
What is it worth? Just out of curiosity.
It's worth 12. So
by the book,
typically,
12K.
in normal circumstances, you'd get 6 out of it.
Yeah, five seems reasonable.
5 seems reasonable, but if we can't get that much, I'd rather break it apart and have that much resources to put towards making our own items.
Because Bardo
and I
has
can
that
make all
lab.
kinds of items.
Yeah.
You do have the lab back home.
Yeah.
You guys could probably get 8,000 worth of stuff out of it.
So yeah, I'd rather.
So if you can't get that,
I don't even remember the rule.
Basically, you get
I'll check the rule.
half of the amount of it in resources.
Okay.
Which then we can turn around and use to make our own stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, so it'll be 6 grand.
Yeah, you get 6K out of it to make stuff.
So to me, it's worth it to have the 6 grand. If you got close, I would rather have the currency at this stage. But if we can't get close to half, then I'd rather it's more advantageous to just break it.
Well, and the other thing is, he said that this area had a lot of magic shops in it.
Right.
Now, we dealt with Froggy the used car salesman, but that doesn't mean that there aren't. That doesn't mean that there aren't other people who we might be able to get a better deal with.
Right.
And yeah, if you can get to 5 so that we can
Yeah, if I
have
can get to 5 somewhere,
AGP
I'd
as
jump on that
opposed
right
to
now.
the extra grand of materials to use later, yeah, that might be worth it.
Yeah, it'd be worth it to do now.
Or maybe I just have a thing against used car salesmen that start out at 2,800, and I'd rather flame strike them than continue to have a conversation with them.
Right.
Rather flame strike them. Can you imagine going to like like a used car lot and it's like, what's it going to take for me to put you in this Volvo S60?
I can guarantee you, if I had that ability in real life, I would be in prison, and there would be a bunch of car salesmen that were smoking black grease on the pavement. Because I've dealt with those people, and I just turn around and walk away because I don't have the ability to flame strike them. Which was probably God's way of saying you shouldn't do that.
You should do. Flame striking car salesman, bad.
I disagree.
Am I going to have to put that in the Paladin book?
Well, no, because I'm me, not a priest, but okay.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so there are other magic shops.
If we walk back and forth, maybe people will know we're selling magic items and they'll come attack us, and we can.
Well, as you get about halfway down the block, out of Adelard's, you see the hezrou pop out, and he's like, "Wait! All right, you drive a hard bargain. I didn't. You were a crafty one. I didn't suspect that you would actually walk away. But I'll tell you what. Now,
as he's saying stuff, I walk up to him and I say, "I told you what I want for it. If you can't do that."
Did you say 5?
Yeah. I said, if you can't do that, then we're wasting each other's time.
All right, 5.
Wow.
I got all tingly.
Wow.
I got all tingly.
All right, I'll do 5. But I'll tell you what, if you tell any of these of my competitors on this street that I gave you 5,000 for a Rod of Wonder, frankly, my reputation will be soiled so much that I wouldn't even be able to do anything about it.
I'm good with that.
All right, come on back in and we'll sort it out.
All right.
Now, how do you want it? I've got actual coins of about $3,000. I can give you some gems for the rest, or I can give you a draft on the goldsmithery.
Don't take any slaves.
It'll work fine. I can give you a gold.
So basically, he wants to give us a check for the other stuff.
Well, it's a goldsmith
bank
draft.
note.
It's a banknote. It's absolutely legal tender. Anybody uses them.
Yeah,
frankly, you have seen people like in the hotel using notes of this nature. Essentially, what they do.
For high-level adventures, we can't be carrying around 30,000 individual coins at any given
Yeah,
moment.
no, I agree with that. So,
like 500 pounds worth of coins.
He can
bring the mule train.
He can give you 3,000 in AGP, although it's gonna basically bust out his petty cash. And then he has some gems. He could probably give you another 1,000 in gems. And then a bank draft for the rest, however you want. Or you could take it all in bank draft and walk away with a piece of paper, or, however you want it. But right now, what he'll tell you is he only has 3,000 in coin and another 1,000 in gems right now if you want hard currency.
I think we'll take $2,000 in hard currency just so we've got stuff to spend, and then we'll take the $3,000 in a note.
Okay, can do. And he says, he smacks one of the other smaller hezrou. He's like, "Go down the way and get a notary." And so the other hezrou sort of like hustles out. "Okay, sir." Pops out, and so he's like, "Hold on, let me get it." And you see him. He goes in the back and he comes back out with
Was that all we're selling here? I thought you had a bunch of stuff to sell.
We've got 2 magical weapons is what we've got, but they're only +1, so they're worth 2,000, which means you typically only get about 1,000 out of them.
40 gold pieces, best I could do.
Yeah.
Is there any? Was he interested in exchange work, like trading up for items that we might actually need?
He certainly. If you ask him, he'll certainly say, "Yeah, sir, I do all kinds of different deals."
Where's your +9 plate armor?
I keep it in the bag with my +20 ass covering. His +9 plate armor. He goes, "I wish I had a set of a +9 plate armor. I haven't seen one of those since Asmodeus was in town."
So he dropped by.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a glorious period, let me tell you. Him and Nocticular hit the town. Gold was a flowing. But yeah, so he'll basically, the hezrou kid comes in and he's got this tiefling guy with him, and his tiefling guy's got a big book and quills stuck in his hair and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, what do you need, Allard? And the guy's like, I need a notary on a goldsmith's draft for what did we say?
3,000.
Three grand. Okay. And so he's like, yep, can do. And he whips open the thing. And it's like one of those old school corporate checkbooks where it's a big notebook and you rip out the pieces. They're all perforated. So he's like, your main account? He's like, yeah, my main account. How many accounts do you think I have at the freaking goldsmith, you idiot? And so he goes ahead and writes it out. Scott gets his notary stamp out, pops it, pulls it out of the thing, hands it over to Adelard. Adelard hands it to you. Here you go. And he goes, and here's the rest. It's a little wooden coffer that he hands you the rest of the thing. He goes, it's all, and you open it up and it's set up. The coins are all AGPs and they're all in
Nice neat stacks.
Yeah, well, like poker chips in one of those trays. Like, so the stacks are horizontal stacks, but they're all in like 200 count stacks. And there's several of those stacks. So there's 10 of them.
Kind of like John Wick.
Yeah, we got some John Wick money.
Dinner for 12. Boom.
What? I haven't seen John Wick, so I don't.
Oh my gosh, dude! Les.
I know. Les, what do you need to stop playing right now?
Yeah, I don't think we got to stop now. I can't do.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, I'll put it on my list.
It's a good Assassin's Guild movie.
So at this point, push that rock off of your head that you've been living under.
Yeah.
And go see John Wick 1 and 2.
I think Les needs a dinner reservation.
How many John Wicks are there?
I
Currently
think
three.
There's three.
All right, John Wicks.
You can pause on the
4.
third one. Yeah, you can pause on the third one. The first one is an absolute must.
All right.
The second one should follow very quickly behind that.
All right, I'll check out my streaming services after.
I would consider maybe wearing ear protection for yourself while watching it if you're planning to watch it at normal volume, because you will definitely have hearing loss from all the gunshots.
There's a few snap and pops going off.
Just a couple.
A bit.
Right.
I think there's a total of 4.
They kill his dog, right?
They do kill a dog.
What?
And they do the unthinkable.
What's that?
They trash his Mustang, which that's
They
punishable.
steal his
Worse
car.
than death. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
Vintage.
did you notice the Mustang trailer today?
the what's that? Oh yeah. And did you see what it was?
The Cobra Mustang 2.
Oh my gosh, the Mustang 2. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I found the one Mustang fanatic that likes the Mustang 2. Like, oh my gosh, dude.
So see, it's almost like a perfect storm. They steal his car, so car guys are absolutely pissed.
Yeah.
They kill his dog, so I want to rip his face off and turn his innards inside out. And John Wick does all those things, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It
works out great.
They make the number one
resolution
mistake.
achieved. All right.
They make the number one mistake of all mid-level bad guys. They don't finish him off.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
Mike
all could have
Ehrmantraut
been
from Breaking Bad said. No half measures.
I once saw him kill a man with a pencil.
Who does that?
All right, I gotta.
You have to watch it.
You know what else I haven't seen, which you guys are probably gonna hate me for, is I've never seen Deadpool either, which everybody tells me I have to
Oh
see.
my God.
I know. I'm.
I think you are Deadpool.
I'm a sheltered child.
Okay, the rest of us were on strike. We're not playing another game with you.
You're gonna have to call in sick to work this week.
Yeah, there's no team until you've watched a few movies.
No team.
It's no team.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you guys sell that, the Rod of Wonder. You guys holding on to the weapons and armor, or are you gonna try and
The weapons, they're the best we can get is $1,000 a piece, and he's gonna cut us on that too. So I think those I'm just gonna next time Gordon's playing.
After the $5,000 boning you just gave him, yeah, you'll be lucky to get dust and a
Yeah, I'm going to just have him. We'll take those apart and convert those into magic.
Well, does anybody want to try to negotiate for magic items that they need to get better
Yeah, that's
sort
what I
of
was saying. It's like,
pricing?
Does he have something here?
I'm guessing in Alushinyrra, he's got anything.
He's got a lot of different things, and he could probably, if he doesn't have
Weapons?
it there in the store, yeah, he's got some weapons here in the store. if he doesn't have it here in the store, he could probably find out who does have it. So, these guys will operate on sort of like a commission standpoint, right? So if Adelar doesn't have it, he'll go to some other magic shops and say, hey, has anybody got a, I don't know, +5 Vorpal holy weapon? And
I'll be like, this is the abyss, dude. Heck,
I would
we don't
say
have those.
my number one weakness, if I have any weaknesses as a paladin, is that I have a pretty low dexterity, with 13 dexterity or whatever. So I'm limping around in that plate armor, but that's the only thing I can think of as a dex item. But I'm sure it's too pricey. Well, it might be too pricey, but that's what all I could use that I can think of.
What is a dex enhancement? Like an amulet of cat's grace or something like that?
Yeah, but
or just like a +1 to dex or something, right?
We have gloves of dexterity. They've got amulets that'll do it.
Yeah, you have to
Not amulets, unless if you wait to let Gordon, or basically let Bardo and Ilindar make it, they can custom make things. I mean, there's certain slots that all the typical stuff has, but we can make a custom item that can fill up any slot that you want.
A flash heart with like a cod piece of dexterity, please. Little lightning bolt right on there.
You say that, and Ilindar and Bardos look at each other, and at the same time, they're both like, not it.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that fitting.
Yeah. We start doing rock, paper, scissors to see who has to make it for you.
I think you know. Did you? Okay. I think I found. You guys are talking about the cod piece. I think there's a different way to go on this this manufacturer. Hold on. I think I got an image of it.
Oh god, here we go.
See what we got here.
I rolled a disbelieve, whatever image you're about to show.
See, I think this one is probably a plug of cat's grace. I think that
would
probably work better for you. There you go.
Suppository of cat's grace. Oh yeah,
probably would work perfectly. It's got a nice jewel there. I think everybody would like that.
All right, let's see. I disbelieve this image.
Disbelieve.
Oh, I think I didn't make it.
You didn't make it. You believe it, all right. You know it's available in this town.
And now you're considering it.
Proprietor, is this a wine cork here? Is this a stopper for a wine cork? The stopper of one type, but
could be a wine cork.
All right, so I mean but Mike's probably right. I mean, Bardos has wondrous item. I know he can craft wondrous items and plus other things too. So, and with the ability to sort of
basically, we've split the item creation feats. So I've got rings and arms and armor, and he's got wondrous items and
scrolls and potions.
Scrolls and then wands, I think, is what he's got right now.
And butt plugs of dexterity.
That's a wondrous item.
That's a wondrous item.
So that's all Bardos.
Les?
Yes.
Did you see the note I sent?
Not yet. It's yes. So let me answer that real quick. So the second one.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to tell anybody about that or not. It's up to you.
I will later.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to find a ring of intercepting secret messages.
Yeah, seriously.
Well,
sweet ring.
Well, Gatto's kind of a plant. You could just have him drink that potion and then you know everything that he knows.
There you
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Because hearing all this bloop, 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 and there's not a damn thing on the screen is starting to become irritating.
All right, so you do the deal with that. So you've got $2,000 now in AGP plus a banker's draft for $3,000 for the sale of the Rod of Wonder. So that's you guys drove a hard bargain and it paid off. So excellent. So what do you guys do next?
Hey, look, guys, we just got a bunch of money. Let's go out and talk about it on the way back home.
Hey, guys, look at all this money we got.
Let's count it over here in this alley.
Let's count it out here in this back alley back here.
Do you guys actually do stuff like that, or?
Well,
no,
I
we
think,
were joking.
to be honest, at this point, I would have to
Did you want to go
guess.
back to the potioner and get those other potions right now?
Yeah.
I actually don't need mine right now. So.
Well, I'm thinking wherever we go, and going back to the potioners to get the other potions is probably a good idea. Whether it's what you need now or whatever. But we had some stuff that we could use.
Okay.
But at this point, I would have to believe that there are probably now a bunch of lowlifes who understand that we've made a big transaction just now. Between the employees at the magic
Especially
shop.
because the frog demon came running out and said, wait, come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did
The
actually
employees-
do that.
The employees at the magic shop, the frog demon from the other magic shop who saw where we went, the notary guy showing up, somebody, and probably a lot of somebodies, knows we just went and made a big transaction. So at this point, wherever we go, we're probably looking at maybe an encounter.
We're a target now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, if we can go back, if you want to, we can go back to the potion shop and grab the potion for
Any
Flashheart.
current potions we wanted and didn't get, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you sell, I wasn't paying attention, did you sell the sword and everything also?
No, we're just going to break those down and
You're
make
gonna break those down, okay.
Stuff that we can build other things with.
For my cod piece.
Chris cod piece.
You mean butt plug?
Butt plug of dexterity.
Flashheart feels funky. Everybody watch the video of the Less Son of the Blackadder Flashheart?
I did.
I love him. The first time I ever saw him was like on the early episodes where it's still in medieval times. He's like, I love a woman with a beard. Gives you something to hang on to.
So let's go back in the potioner shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can discuss the Prince Albert of wisdom later.
You guys knew that in a demon city that you were going to run into odder magic items.
Well, this is a demon city. They are kind of chaotic, so.
All right, so you guys get back to the potioners, you're like, oh yeah, are you here to pick up or that kind of stuff? You got a package waiting?
Yeah, one of our potions, we want one of those.
Okay, let me check. Let me check your shelf, and they go back. They have sort of an apothecary's box where they keep people's things. So you can see there's one that has a little a freshly written tag on it that says Ben.
So after we're inside the shop, I approach Flashheart.
Okay.
Master Flashheart, while you guys were in here the first time, I was just taking a little walk around. I noticed something that may be of interest now. There were a couple of demons walking around, looked to be collecting protection money from different carts in the market.
So after he says that, you guys remember that on the streets and stuff like that, there were various kinds of cart vendors, mostly food, some drinks. Frankly, it looked a little sketch. So you guys hadn't taken advantage of it. There were several.
Friend Gato, are you sure they weren't part of the local constabulary?
There is no local constabulary.
It may have been legitimate tax collection. Yes, it could have been. One other thing of note: when we left the last magic shop, they were eyeing us pretty hard. So they may be waiting to legally collect taxes upon us also.
Well, I think if they do, we'd want to do this in a public setting to make sure we get the best, witnesses for any collecting that goes down.
I agree. I'm just making sure you can tell everyone else.
Oh, do they have a potion of letting the hair whisper through the air that whispers through my hair? Like it's always perfectly flowing backwards in a Fabio sort of matter?
I don't know.
Potion of Fabio?
Potion of Fabio.
It's got to be a cool cantrip, maybe. I'm writing that down and to give to our pal Melkor to, I'd like it.
Well, there is a cantrip, prestidigitation, whatever that is, that, we can just make the cantrip just doing that. So it's like 25 gold pieces. You could drink it and then for probably a couple minutes, your hair just blows back the whole time.
Yeah, I know my hair and cloak to billow, no matter if there's a dead calm or not,
What a great use
presentation.
For that. Yeah. What a great use for that spell too. I use prestidigitation to blow your hair back, so you look really cool, like Fabio.
Well, like every time there's an anime character, they're always standing, seriously. Their hair is just like
the hair's all over the place.
Yeah. If they have a cloak, it's billowing behind them.
You know who watches anime? People who wish they were furries.
Oh.
Dan's coming out fighting.
Off the top rope.
There is zero connection. Zero connection. As you saw in the chart you sent,
Yeah.
anime was a completely separate column from
It was a completely separate column.
Quick cross on the streams.
And well above furries.
I don't think I heard the word anime until at least like 1994. I always knew it as Japanimation because I grew up. I understand that's a defensive term now, but that's all we ever knew. In the 80s, we didn't know better.
All right. So I mean, what do you guys? So they get. I mean, do you want to get both potions, the gaseous and the blink, or just the one or the other?
I actually looked, and on a different piece of part of my character, I still have one, so I don't need my potion. But we'll grab flash art. And I already took the money off for flash arts.
Blink, and then you can do a prestidigitation spell later, or do we
Would
have
they
to buy
have
a
any of
potion?
those?
Yeah, they prestidigitation.
Sure. 35 GP. It's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get it for probably 10 GP.
It's 25 for a cantrip.
25.
And then 20% off there, so it's only 20.
20 gold pieces.
Is this something I can get auto installed on a piece of my equipment that'll just happen if I whisper something to it in the future?
I can figure that out if you want.
I think that'd be a good use for our time here in Demon World.
We didn't accomplish our mission, but check him out. He's always his hair is always blowing back now.
And then we have to have a music cantrip to be playing some tense music as we stare each other down. Give me some good, bad, and the ugly showdown music.
I'm gonna sell him. I'm gonna sell him a folding fan, saying it's a magic fan. All you have to do is wave it like this. And
wave it.
I'm gonna
Only
sell it to you
15.
for 1,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, it's a master craftsman or craft work.
All right. So so you just tell Flashheart, or do you tell everybody that
I told Flashheart if he wants to share it with me.
Well, as soon as we're done with our purchases, I'll huddle up the team here. Like, before we step out here, friend Gato, caravan guard, and observer extraordinaire.
Part-time slaver, part-time murderer. Yeah.
I'm just a caravan guard.
Full-time pain in the
master assassin. Notice that there's a couple of local thuggeries looking to maybe collect some taxes from the nearby honest demon shopkeepers. And thought they might be casting their gaze upon us. And so I would be on your ready. Might be time to buff up if we're ready. And this might also be an opportunity to put a little notoriety to the test and see what we can do.
Let's do it.
And look, there they are now.
Well, so yeah, if you guys go outside, you will.
Excuse me while I drink these potions.
There are a couple of guys, and you see at one point.
And by guys, what do you mean?
Well, they're not guys. Let me describe.
And how many is a couple? Is it a normal couple, or is it a demonic couple of like 50 guys?
No, it's two. They are they appear as huge, hulking, ape-like creatures with bears' heads. Two large, downward curving horns come out of the head, and the fur is reddish black and matted with blood, and its hands end in razor-sharp claws. So, average tax guy.
Yeah.
So they are basically so they as you guys come out of the potioners, you see one kind of look over and he nudges the other, and he looks over and he's like, you see this sort of like grin. It's like and you see him coming over to you guys.
Okay, as they start walking over towards us, I'm casting a spell on Gato.
Okay.
In which he disappears.
Can I cast a spell as well?
I will drink my cantrip.
Sure.
Drink my cantrip.
The prestidigitation one.
Oh, you know another cantrip we could probably use, amplify voice in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going for full showmanship, we want spectacle.
I'm casting bless.
Bless, okay.
Dang it. I hate bless. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to find...
you hate bleed, not bless.
Oh, I hate bless. I hate them both.
We can actually try to talk to these people first, or are we just going right to initiative?
We'll get to that. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find Gatto's invisibility thing,
Oh,
which I do not have for some reason. Do you have it?
you should always have a master sheet with it.
I have it, and there's one on there, but it's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. Well, it doesn't. It's not clocked to you. So hold on. Let me see if I can fix this here. I can fix this. I can make this right. I'm a DM, damn it. I can do whatever I want.
Less. Morale bonus on saving throws. Okay. I keep thinking of something else.
All right.
Yeah, no, bless is just +1 to hit.
Okay. I
And
think
saving
I
throws.
got it.
You're right.
And I'm going to put it next to your guy. But I need you to put the I get your new token, too. So I need you to put your hit points in it when you get a second.
Yeah, I'll do that as soon as we get to that. We're at the on the city map right now. So.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, no, I haven't got there yet. I'm getting everything prepped.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring you over to the map. You're actually in a little plaza as you guys are sort of wandering around on the street. There's a big lit thing in the mirror, and these guys are approaching you from the other way. Let me go ahead and switch the thing here.
We'll spread out a little bit here for any areas like spells or fear-based things they have inherently.
Okay, I got everybody on there, right? Ilindar, Gatto, Fletcher. Yeah, I think I got everybody.
Yeah,
Anybody-
except I'll be out front here, not in the back.
Yeah, go ahead and get into position. So these are the creatures that are coming your way.
Is this Draugato?
That's Draugato, yeah.
He has no name.
That's right.
I'll fix him.
Or
He is the
health
control
bar.
with no
fixing
name.
him.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm just saying. you
Yeah,
don't
it's a
have
brand new
name or a
token.
Health bar.
I think from now on, Draugato sounds so much better than just Gato, so I think that's his permanent name.
Draugato.
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 I just need to know when he needs healing. Or you can
So
keep
the-
the
so
health
that you
bar
can-
off, and I'll
I was
just
gonna say-
guess.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you really want to know?
All right, hold on.
All right.
What do you think, Don? Should I just guess if you need healing?
Hold on, I got it.
Listen
There you
for
go.
the
Should be able to see it now. Can you see it now?
There we go.
I know Draugato will have our backs, so no other demons will spring out on us.
All right.
Okay, now so that's Draugato, but now right now you do not see him.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, he's right there.
No, he turned invisible.
You got an
There you
SCP field on there. So
And
that's the
actually,
problem.
hey, Don,
Yeah.
as I look out and see this, as Ilindar touches you, he says, if you want to hitch a ride, Storm's going to drop in right behind him.
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna walk down these
I
stairs.
climb on top of Storm.
Like if we're not in initiative yet, Les, I'm gonna walk down these stairs like we don't expect anything, and I'll be talking to Fletcher like,
Okay.
blah,
Ah,
blah,
how's it
blah,
going
blah.
there?
But I'll be loosening up radiance in his
Doing some Mr.
cavern.
Bean ass shit.
We're not doing the get help thing. We're not doing the get help thing.
Yeah, I love the get help thing.
And at this stage, less as they're approaching, Storm's going to take off, not straight up, but pretty much up in the air and barely moving forward. Kind of staying above where Flashheart and Fletcher are.
Okay.
But she's going to jump up to about 30, 40 feet in the air.
Okay.
At that
Sorry,
stage.
you wanna make sure that you don't fall behind in case, since you're on the edge of the map. That's
Is
where
blue
that's
flying?
darkness.
Blue.
The blue dot, does that mean flying?
You shouldn't be able to see that.
I don't see
Oh,
it.
never mind.
Blue dot.
No, yeah, blue dot is flying. Sorry.
I don't see blue dot. Oh, now I see blue dot.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, blue dot means flying. Don, sorry about that. I'm like, what the fuck? So we can tell you. So Don's invisible character, I can see it. He can see it, but you guys can't see it. It's a blue dot, essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what does the blue dot mean? What's flying? And I'm like, how do they even see that? The whole thing is, let's break it down.
Aim for the blue dot.
All right, so these guys, these big bear demons, and they're about 9 feet tall, and they sort of are just sort of like ambling over. They're these big bear-looking creatures, and there's like, excuse us, primes. I see you're new to Alushinyrra. Welcome.
Why, yes.
To our fair city. Well met. We don't see many primes here, so it's always a pleasure to meet one that's fresh in town. But obviously, since you're so new here, you don't understand our ways. So my friend and I are gonna do you a small favor and remind you that there is a small tax that must be paid to wander the streets engaging in commercial activity. You probably weren't aware of it, and so we're here to help you. You know what? Frankly, we'll just do you this favor. You can pay us the tax, and we'll take care of it with the legal authorities, and that way you guys don't have to worry about it. You can go on your merry way. The tax for a group of your size and your constituency usually runs about, about 200 AGP. So if you go ahead and just give that to us now, we'll be on our way.
Actually, we'll collect yours, and so
I'll be like, I'll come a little closer here. I'm like, so, tax collector, that seems a fair sum. How about I make a counteroffer of perhaps your friend you mentioned here. If you value his life, you'll find someone else to prey upon this evening.
They look at each other and they're like, I'm sorry. You probably are unfamiliar with taxation policy here in Alushinyrra, but in a general sense, we don't entertain counteroffers. So why don't you go ahead and hand over the 200, and then we'll all be on our way.
Les, Storm's still up in the air, but she's moved over to this area.
Okay, so
she's still about 40 feet up in the air.
All right, so she's above him, and you do see one of the guys is kind of like. Let me do a quick perception to see if he spots her up there. It'd be kind of hard not to see.
Yeah, she's good size.
Yeah,
a stealthy dragon in a dark sky.
She's a giant dragon.
Man. I'm sorry, what was that?
A very big dragon.
That's like 5 already.
That's like 5.
You need to string them together like.
Don't keep count.
And one to grow on.
Actually, they're not happening right now.
I felt
because she's not double jointed. So.
Warm up for
she's still growing. All right, so their perception check. Well, he got a 25, but rolled a natural 1. So he's kind of like still looking up. Yeah, it's hard to miss a giant.
This mofo has a 24 plus 24 on perception.
Yeah.
Where's my 200 gold pieces? Come on, somebody help me pull this up.
All right, out with it. Here, hold this sword for a second. I gotta get it out. I gotta get out my wallet.
Can I give you a little extra?
Best just to pay the tax, don't you think?
I understand that you have your ways here in Alushinyrra, but I believe I can speak for myself and my companions when I say we decline your kind offer and invite you to piss off.
So they
invite them.
They let out a giggle. He's like, did you hear that, Bill? He said he was going to invite us to piss off. Did you hear that? He's like, I heard it, Steve. I don't even know. I don't think I've ever met a prime that had his balls as big as you.
Perhaps I have to have a custom cod piece.
Since you want to hold on to them, maybe you should reconsider.
I am getting a custom cod piece to fit these iron nads, but
and he moves forward a little bit. They're sort of starting to approach you, and you see they are big guys. I mean, these guys are like big, rangy dudes.
If they're still talking down there, Illandar just whispers to Storm now, and she drops into a dive bomb and pretty much pounces on this guy.
Wait. Let me do my final thing monologue.
Okay.
Fletcher, doesn't this bill remind you of that one Vrock we tore apart on the desolate plain? That
Which
was
one?
A fun day. I know, right? I forgot that. He's so adorable with his beautiness and thuggery.
I love hubris. It's one of my favorite things.
I invite you to roll for initiative.
And that's when Storm.
First, it's piss off, and then roll for
it.
it. Yeah, if a storm is dropping onto this guy, then yes, it's initiative time. Don, I'm going to send you a quick message while everybody's rolling.
Am I able to act before initiative, or do I need to just?
Do we get a
follow?
surprise?
Depends on what you want to do. I mean, everybody's sort of like together. So Lothar, you've already cast Bless. What do you want to do?
Well, I cast bless as we came out of the store.
Okay.
And if that's my act, that's fine.
There's a fair amount of chatting going on. If you got something else in mind, you probably
At this point, I want to put 2 arrows in this one.
Oh, okay.
I can't get a surprise round because I'm talking
So
trash to the
he
guy.
probably waits until he sees storms start dropping, and then it's probably when he
Right, and then this
starts
one moves
loosing
forward,
arrows.
which gives me an alley between these two, and nobody's in melee with it, so I can try to fire arrows at it.
I think you can pull that one off.
Okay, so ranged attack. 20.
I don't think that's going to hit him. Nope, that does not. That's a miss.
And 18.
That's also
Actually,
a miss.
each of those will be +1 because of bless.
Okay, yeah, neither of them hit. I'm sorry about that, dude.
That's okay.
I kind of wanted those arrows still holy arrows to whack into these guys, but
Well, yeah, because that one got some prime ass damage on it.
By the way, while we're here, is there a crowd anywhere nearby?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I was thinking they've started to sort of like now they're looking. The moment you said I invite you to piss off to a big demon, people started like,
what?
Yeah, I did mention I drank my cantrip before I did that. So my cloak is billowing and my hair is perfect.
Awesome. All right, let's roll some Anish. I'll roll for my guys.
Bless doesn't hurt.
For guys who have perception 24, they have really crappy initiative.
Unless you want to put the initiative thing up.
Oh yeah, hold on. There you go. Oh, shut up.
Holy crap.
Guys, did I roll? Everything froze up there. I did, okay.
Wow.
What did Don roll? Something ridiculous?
30.
30.
He gets to act 9 times before any of us get our head out of our ass.
Yeah.
Especially Lothar and Illendar.
How many bleeds can a big demon like this take?
I think they're immune to bleed.
I don't think they are.
It could be. You never know. Let me check the thing.
Will you put me on the initiative thing? I don't have the formula ever set up. One day.
You're on here.
Where am I?
You roll a 20?
No.
Yeah, no, I rolled
He's
a
not
5.
on the thing.
He's not on there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Is anybody else
Lothar.
see them not on themselves not on here?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Draugado's on there.
Get a 5. Okay.
The band with no name.
I've got several. Okay, hold on. Let me check.
Looks like
Been
looks like
on a dragon with a drow with no name.
All right, I'm missing. I got Fletcher. I got Illendar. I got Lothar. Oh, I need flash art. All right, hold on a second. What did you roll?
Show me flash art.
Remind me, what was your roll? 16?
which was that? Yeah.
Oh, flash art rolled. I think it was 11.
11. Okay.
Well, I rolled twice. I rolled 11 and 16 somehow.
And Storm right now is going to be going on.
Well, she's the one that started this whole thing.
Yeah, she did the dive bomb.
She should probably.
So I still haven't done the surprise round thing yet before we go into initiative. I was waiting until you were ready.
Hold on a sec. I've got doubles here because I didn't clear it off last time.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, oof.
That's what's making a thing here. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Let me sort it. Why is it not working? Hello. Hold on. I'm having a problem here.
Is the roll 20 frozen up for you?
No, it's not frozen. It's just not giving me the ascender thing. It's not. I can't get the.
Scroll down to get the gear. Or
Yeah, I'm not.
resize it.
It's not on there.
Or
No gear.
Come back out and come back in.
I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna.
There,
I'm
it
just-
just, well, no, it didn't sort, but okay.
I'm moving
Okay.
them physically.
Okay.
There we go. That looks right. That looks right. All
There
right.
you
So let's do surprise round. So Storm drops onto one guy. Lothar, you shot those arrows. Oh God. Okay. So
go.
31 hits, 30 hits, 16 does not hit.
I don't think anything else hits.
And 21 does not hit. So just the claws.
Yep.
And all of those are at +1, if that matters.
Because of bless.
Yes.
Okay. And they act like magic weapons, correct, for purposes of DR?
Yeah. Magic and good.
Okay.
Ooh, and good.
Magic and good?
Yes, because they got the holy thing.
Holy trade. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna
So,
be good too.
so 25 for one claw, and then 27 for the next claw.
All right. So that would be.
If he says miss on both of them, then we should start becoming concerned.
No, he got them both. So he landed on back, and he's like, "Oh!" Hold on a second. I gotta let somebody in here.
Got somebody in.
Yeah.
A vampire at your
In the
window.
waiting room.
A vampire.
Let me in.
But it's not. Now they're not there anymore. I guess
Who was it?
I guess I missed my window. It was Tom Bowman.
Oh yeah.
He was going to come visit.
Just text
Yeah,
him.
I think so. But he didn't. If somebody can.
Somebody have his
thing.
number.
He's not showing as being available to admit anymore. So maybe he fucked something up. Okay, so that's that. Storm. Lothar, you shot. Gato, you're in a position, but that guy definitely sees you.
Yeah, I had to move a little bit to get there. I see that he's seeing me, so I'm only going to swing once and then use spring attack to get back away a little bit.
Okay. So here's the fun part. Okay.
So 26 to hit.
26 will hit.
5 points damage.
5 points damage. No sneak.
It is the surprise round, and I am acting before him.
So he should be flat-footed.
He should be flat-footed against me.
Man, you know what? I'm going to start sending waves of invisible rogues after you guys.
Waves of invisible rogues.
Oh, you still haven't acted yet. Guess who that sneak attack damage? All right, yeah, okay.
So 14 sneak.
Are you have any magical DR reducing? I'm assuming all your weapons are holy.
My weapons are not holy. Although I could use a holy weapon, it would not harm me.
We've not seen proof of this.
Just to be clear,
it would just harm all the people around you. All right, so how much damage? 19?
19 plus, of course, the 4 bleed.
Okay, so 23. Okay, marking that, and then I'm going to also note the bleed. That was 4 bleed. Okay, got it. Okay.
And then I move away afterwards. I'm using my spring attack.
Well, you are popping in and out of his reach range, so he's going to get an attack of opportunity on you.
No, not with.
Yeah, he is. He's going to come around with a claw.
With spring attack, I move before and after a melee attack. Let me check.
I don't think spring attack.
You get the plus 4 to your armor class for that other ability, but I think he still gets to take the attack.
Go ahead and roll the attack, and then we'll.
36 at you?
38. 36 will hit.
36.
Yeah.
Plus 18. Think you're special?
I do. Max damage, 16 points.
Uh, 16, you said?
16. This big sort of bear claw just comes onto you and just like, it's like rips away, some chunks of your drowy flesh. All right. Anybody else? All right. Let's roll for initiative. I mean, we're already rolled for initiative, so it's it's Don's turn. It's Draugato. Invisible Draugato. IDG.
As a full round action, you can move up to your speed and make a single attack without provoking any attacks of opportunity from the target you are attacking. You can move both before and after the attack, but you must move at least 10 feet before the attack, and the total distance cannot be greater than your speed.
Even against creatures with reach? Because you're passing through all those threatened squares.
Doesn't specify one reason or another. It just says, it only says, using this feat, you do not incur attacks of opportunity from the target.
So that would insinuate someone else would get it if you passed through there.
Yeah, I don't think he did. So, all right, take it back. I hate this.
So I am going
Stupid rules.
I think we're going to be great shaking down people in the city for money.
All right.
Paladin, sorry.
Stab again and jump back.
Son of a bitch. Oh, he's killing you now.
I'm not.
He wouldn't do very good on himself to turn his back on Fletcher.
Well, he doesn't know Fletcher's a problem yet.
He's
Time to find out.
He definitely knows that Draugato is a problem, though. 28 is a hit.
28's a hit, 12 damage, and the second one I'm not doing, so.
Okay, 12 points of damage.
As they
Then I
say
jump
where I'm
back
from,
again.
he gonna learn today.
All right. And now it's my turn. So
4
he's
points of
going.
bleed.
I can see Les's forehead turning bright red.
No, I know.
What is that vein pulsing out of the front of his skull? I can see that from here.
You have a spare character made up, right? You got another caravan guard in your pocket? All right, so he's going to run up. That is not a 5-foot step, so he gets a single attack, which he is going to. Well, he could do that too, which he's probably going to do, because that's not an attack per se, not a physical attack. So where is it? Okay, so he is going, first things first, he's going to hit you with one of his claws, and it looks like he's trying to grab you. So here we go. All right, 21 hit?
21 misses.
That misses. All right, and at the same time, he lets out a humongous roar as he attacks you because he's so angry. I need a reflex save from you. As you try and dodge out of the way of this horrifying sonic attack.
From who?
From Gato. He's focused on Gato. He's mad at him. Poke the bear. Damn, he got it. All right, so half damage as you dodge away. Do you have evasion? You probably do.
Yeah.
Yes.
0 damage.
All right, 0 damage because it's an attack. Well, it's a sonic attack, so you would get half.
It's a reflex save.
It's a reflex save. It's a reflex save, so it counts. Okay.
Save,
yep. All right.
Damage.
So no damage. So, you fucking dick. Okay. So,
If it makes you feel better, I am running away now. I'm only pushing my luck so far here.
all right. Hold on just a second. I got to do this because I'm losing all power in my things here in my Roll20. I think half of it is because I have 2 windows open at the same time, so it's kind of like sometimes it gets stupid. All right, one sec, as it's coming back. So the other one's going to attack Storm because it wasn't too friggin' happy about that either.
She was just playing with him.
Oh, he's
like a dog.
He's gonna play back. Hold on, it resorted everything. There we go. There we go. All right, so it's going to try attack Storm, and since it's very close by, it gets full attack. First claw, 21, not. Second claw, 29.
That does not hit.
Does not hit. And did he get anything else? He's going to roar at Storm, so I need a reflex save from you.
Okay.
You don't have it. Storm doesn't have evasion, does she?
Let me check. I
certainly hope not. 26 makes it, so half damage from the sonic attack. So 11 and half is 5 points of sonic damage as it roars in Storm's
She actually does have evasion.
Would have. Don't worry, Les. It was 5 points. You're not going to miss it.
Sorry. I didn't know she did. I was like, wait a minute. I know she had a few abilities.
This
that
is
would
why
piss me off even more than Gatto.
This is why I drink, because of this kind of stuff. Flash out, you're up.
All right. So, am I muted? No, I'm not.
Nope, we can hear you.
You're here.
We can hear you.
Okay,
Stop talking
so
bad about us.
boom, 3 here. There's moving up. Well, he's distracted by Gatto and.
So now you're flanking, so you got a +2 to attack.
Okay. He
All
still
right,
would
so-
get an attack of opportunity, though, because you passed in the thing. So he hasn't expended
What?
one. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They're demons. They do that kind of shit.
Demon, sneaky demon. Okay, well, make your attack. Let's go.
All right. You want me to go first?
Oh no, I want to go first.
How about a 34?
Okay. No. Yes, I will hit, but that's gonna hurt.
15 points of damage.
Okay.
Of
All
claw
right, so
damage. Whips a claw around. But you go ahead. Now it's your turn. Now go
All
ahead.
right, so it's +2 for
Oh.
that. So
Plus
Yeah,
3
plus-
because you have bless as well.
Yeah, you have bless.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
go.
35 is a hit. I assume you're not using Radiance. You're using that +1 Scorpion Whip, right?
Right, this little little butt plug I got from the shop. How you like that, huh, demon?
Butt plug of dexterity.
Yeah. Let's see. So damage. I'm sorry. Let me make you wait so long. I don't know what. Oh yeah, same as 18.
18 points of damage.
18 points? Okay, and it's holy damage, so it goes straight to the thing.
And you did 15 points to me, or 17? No, 17.
15 to you.
Okay. I realized I never updated my hit points. I need to do
It
that.
lets out a bellow. As Radiance, the holy wound begins to suppurate. It's like, somebody hit me with a holy weapon.
Pay
Fletcher,
attention
you're
to
up.
him.
Okay, so I will be pouncing.
All we wanted was the damn tax.
All right, so you're pouncing on him. So pounce allows you to run and do your full attack.
Full attack.
Correct.
He's going to take the attack of opportunity against you because that's what he do.
That's how we roll.
32.
Yeah, well, that was
10 points of claw damage.
okay.
Or scrappy.
All right, tag. I should have.
How much longer are we playing, by the way?
I didn't realize it was so late. Let's finish.
Now we're just gonna finish this round and we'll be done.
Okay.
Damn, son, did you just roll a 42 attack roll?
I just rolled a 42 attack roll.
Shit. Well, yeah, that hits.
That's the hammer.
Okay. You letting it go, or you keeping it in your hand?
I'm keeping it in my hand for now.
Okay.
The second hammer.
Ooh, that's a gnat. That is a gnat. Would you roll? Hold on, I was switching over the thing. What did you roll?
26 to confirm.
26 to confirm. They have an AC of 24. So that is a
This one
confirmed
here, right?
crit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
So-
what do you want to do? You want to do the chart?
No
What?
damage, and it's triple Fletcher damage.
Triple Fletcher damage.
Wait,
All
I'm
right.
passing up triple Fletcher damage.
All right. So that's two hammer
Yes, and
hits.
then I'll figure out if I'm doing the claws or not.
Okay.
So here,
Now,
He's done it in this round because
now,
he's got.
Dan, your macro does the holy damage in there as well, right?
it does.
Because that's not tripled.
Got it.
Everything else is
Got-
tripled, but the
got
holy
it.
damage is just
And
once.
again, it is holy and magical less for DR.
Okay.
So here's the first attack.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So 36.
36. Oh, I'm writing it down.
And then the
36.
second is
Jesus.
Oh,
27 tripled would be 81 plus 91.
Plus 10 is 90. So 91 total.
91
So
plus
that's
36 is
7,
127.
127. All right. So he had.
Is he still standing?
Hold on. Got to check. he had 124 hit points left. So yeah, so you you hit him
burned
once.
him.
You hit him once in the side.
I
That's a
burned him.
verm.
Because
You
I had
did.
damage on
I don't
it.
know that in the spirit of verming, I'm not sure that
It
I
counts.
damaged it first.
You damaged it first. So you come up and you hit him in the side of the head, and it looks, and so mostly Gatto, you would see this because he's facing you, and you see this hammer come up the side of his head, and the look in this guy's eyes is like, "What the fuck happened just now?" And then you see the hammer hit him again in the head, and it's like the hammer just kind of goes into its head, and this guy still has this like look of confusion, and it's very odd. And he just sort of like, you hear the hammer kind of like rip out of his skull, and he kind of still stands there for a second, and then he just sort of crumbles to the ground. You hear a gasp from the crowd. Is like, oh goodness, they hurt the tax collector.
You hear a disembodied voice saying, "Thank you, Fletcher."
You're welcome.
All right, Lothar, you're up.
And that ends today's lesson on not turning your back on Fletcher.
I told you he's going to learn today. He might not have known that lesson very long, but he learned it.
I did.
Okay, so this creature, based on this, takes up a 20-foot thing, right?
10 foot. These are 5 foot
10 by
squares,
10.
but yeah.
Okay. Well,
He's large.
that makes a difference. So,
Do you need a radius?
no, I don't.
You're just gonna blast all of them.
No, I'm not.
That's what I would do.
Flame strike.
I get. Well, yeah, flame strike is what I was thinking, but that's. So let's see.
How big is that flame strike?
20 foot.
20 foot.
Yeah, it gets all of us pretty much.
Oh yeah, right there. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that. So I'm going to move down to here.
All right.
Take the orange thing out of the way.
Got
it. Now, if I were to shoot the bow from here,
Mm-hmm.
do I have the issue with melee, with flash heart being in melee?
No, but you have flanking too.
Okay.
Or wait, can you flank with it?
No,
No,
only rogues. Only
No.
rogues can flank.
Only rogues.
Yeah,
You're not.
I
definitely
can't
not.
flank at this distance.
But yeah,
Right.
you're not. Flash heart is not in danger.
Okay, so I'm going to move to this position and I'm going to fire 2 arrows at the remaining demon.
Okay.
15
and 12.
15
Yeah,
and 12,
2 misses
no.
again.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Oh man. And Ilindar.
Ilandar's just going to move up, but Ilandar's not doing anything.
Okay. To put a hand on Lothar's shoulder and say, "We're going to get you some lessons. Don't worry."
Kind of walk over and like push the bow over a little bit. Try it right there.
That's to be perfect. You got to draw it all the way back. All right. So is this a full attack? Oh.
And it stops all of a sudden.
Stops all of a sudden. Why don't you go ahead and confirm that? Ooh.
27. So
It is not a confirmed fail, but no.
so she goes to do something and just kind of fumbles and doesn't do much.
Yep, stumbles. He kind of puts his hand out and grabs her claw, and that kind of stuff. All right, so that is the end of the round. It is
Wait,
well
hold-
after. What?
Sorry. Wasn't his first attack a 30, though?
No,
15.
it's always the brown.
The brown one. You got to look at the brown one first.
Oh, got it. Sorry, I get confused.
So yeah, I do too. I look at it all the time. But yeah, so that's the end of round 1. It is well after 11 o'clock. You guys want to stop here?
Yep.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't want to, but I need to. I'm gonna pass out.
All right. We will start in Bellas Res 2 weeks from tonight.
Bellas Res.
What's
The
Bella's
next week's B team.
Well, it's like in Media Res, only in the middle of a fight. Bellas is
Next week is B team, right?
Next week is B team.
Okay.
Next week's B team. But also, just as a reminder for those of you who are also in the is anybody here in the Saturday night game as well? No.
Me
Okay, never mind that.
and Eric.
Oh, Dan is, yeah. Oh, Dan and Eric. So yeah, next Saturday night, the Browns are having a barbecue. So next Saturday night's game is canceled. I won't be there.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, buddy. That'll be fun.
So we will see you though.
Dan,
Yeah,
Dan
you guys-
and Eric, you can come to the bonfire.
Would love to.
Set up a virtual camera so that we can watch.
And I'm sure a
Oh,
game
yeah?
will break out on screen.
Yeah.
I'll be bringing my dice.
It'll be-
Hang out a bit.
Yeah, sure.
All
Good
right.
night, guys.
All right, gents.
Well,
Thanks,
Night.
everybody. This was awesome.
Yep.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.